G'day guys and welcome back to Casual Rage. Prepare to start the show, R2. This is where the fun begins. G'day guys and welcome to Casual Rage. Casual Rage, where we casually rage out about the topics of the week, and of course it's all about Ahsoka and how bad I think this show is. It's also awesome, of course, to have the beautiful Anna, that Star Wars girl, back again.
Hello.
To discuss this terrible show. But before we get into, obviously, the show and breaking it down and everything that's been going on with that, let me quickly say hello to the chat. We've got Christian here. We've got Galadorn. We've got Skirmitar. Mr. Bentham, how you doing? Darth... that just jumped on me. Darth Spampton, how you doing? We've got OG Star Wars. How you going, Alora? I see Alora's tweets all the time. Do you get to see Alora's tweets? She has a lot of fun.
Ever since Elon bought Twitter, all I see are tweets from people I don't follow.
Yeah.
I have to manually look up people, except now that Brittany made a new account, her account has shown up. But all I get is political stuff, and anytime I see something political, I block. I block every ad. I block every political person, campaign, whatever. But you know how it does the for you and then like following? I click following and I'm like, who are these people? So no, I don't see anyone's. I don't see your tweets. I don't see Cecil's tweets. Ethan got kicked off. I don't see anyone's tweets. It's so frustrating.
What's happening with that? Is Ethan going to get his account back, or is he just using the...
He appealed, but I doubt it.
That's so stupid. What are you going to do after the block's gone? Or is that not happening anymore?
I don't know. I hope it's not gone. He said that you can mute people, but I think there's something with Android App Store and iPhone, Apple, that you have to have a block button.
Yeah, okay.
I just think he should make it, if you're like an official ad company on Twitter, that you can't block them. Like, because he's doing it because people are blocking the ads. So just make so that those accounts you can't block.
But I wonder if you're actually able to separate it. That would be the...
I think so, because it shows up as an ad. Like, it says ad. So maybe...
Yeah, but I mean in the algorithm, when you go, like, just setting it to block just those. Or not, like, or not being able to block just those. I'm sure there's a way that they can do it. We've also got Fractured Filter in the house. How you doing, dude? Good to see you. Let me just scroll down a little bit. We've got Pro Jack Fan. Blake, stop watching Ahsoka and start the stream. Yes, sorry we were a little bit late. I was still sleeping, actually. I slept in a bit too much. And Anna was running a little bit late, so we just decided to push it back a little bit.
I messaged him and I was like, I'm running late. And he's like, it's okay, so am I. I was like, okay, good.
Me too. So we've just pushed it back a little bit. Obviously, we are starting earlier than the normal time for Casual Rage. We usually start at 12:30 my time, and it's now 10:30. So we've also got Patrick T here. Let me guess. Ahsoka sucks. I think,
you might have guessed it.
Yep. Mike Hill says late and Sabine. Yes. Arboru, the great Arboru. How you doing, dude? Good to see you. Steven Salcedo's here. Micra. Sorry. That was actually funny. Star Wars Marvel Purist. How you doing? Good to see you. Grandmaster Chris. Tillium. Triss or Trish, depends if you're Mozza or not. And Fractured Filter, the newest member, became a member of the channel. What level was it? Let me just quickly have a look. You're a tracking fob. Congratulations. Well done. Thank you for being here. Anakin Skywalker's in the chat. How you doing? That'll do. Hey, how you going, chat? I hope you're all doing really well. Thanks for being here. Smash that like button. We're going to get straight into this episode of Ahsoka. So first of all, before we start sort of fully breaking it down, what do you think of episode 3, Anna?
I turned it on and then it was over. Well, I will say, I'll start off with something nice. I like that they're actually showing some kind of training scenes. It's not good, but I was like, wow, this is more than Rey trained. And it's just like Sabine, with the droid using the lightsaber. And I mean, I don't really think, and she says it in the episode, she's like, I'm good on weapons, but it's the Force. And she's like, you need to show me how to use the Force. And it's like, well, some people just can't use the Force. And I saw this post on Facebook. It's from like the official Ahsoka Facebook, like the biggest Ahsoka fan page on Facebook. Yep. And the one person that runs the account, they're like, I don't try to nitpick things, but why would Ahsoka be willing to train Sabine, but not Baby Yoda?
Yeah, that was going around after, I think it was episode 1, when they sort of revealed that Sabine was in the past at some point Ahsoka's apprentice. Mm-hmm. And people were curious on why would she take on a Sabine as an apprentice and not take on Grogu, Baby Yoda, whatever you want to call him. I'm also curious on why she wouldn't take on Jason Syndulla.
Does he have Force abilities?
Well, we don't know that, but based on their explanation, does it matter? Anyone, as long as you concentrate hard enough, you can use the Force. I mean, we'll get to that, but the training, that opening training scene that we get, before I get into that, let me say something. One thing nice. There was a couple of scenes in this episode that actually looked good, visually looked good, and one of those scenes was actually the Rebel fleet. When the A-Wings are sort of flying over and everything, it actually looked like a fleet of ships. And I think it actually looked pretty good visually. So that's my one good thing that I could say about it, I guess. Let me bring this up. Now, the one thing with this part of it that I actually mentioned in my review was it's actually nice to see them give us some travel time. Now, I've had this massive complaint with Disney Star Wars that it's hyperspace isn't traveling through time. Then it doesn't take time for them to travel through hyperspace. Essentially, it becomes hyperspace teleportation in my eyes is what I've been calling it, because they're literally at one place and then all of a sudden they're already at the other place. And the main thing that I noticed was in Mando, when he's sitting in that little cockpit and he's got to travel from one planet to another planet or one system to another system, and how uncomfortable would that be, having to sit in there for maybe days, right? The one thing that the Heir to the Empire novels happen to do really well with Luke in his X-Wing traveling across the galaxy was that he made stops along the way. He didn't just travel from his like starting destination to his end destination and just sit in that cockpit for
Also,
4
did
days.
he slept as well.
He slept and he did hibernate,
Yeah,
like
they did,
meditate.
the mini like cryo stuff.
Yeah.
Him.
No, he did do some of that. But there was also a lot of
He
stops
didn't have
along the way.
a baby with him.
True. Very true. But that's the one thing that I liked about this, is that they're traveling through hyperspace, and what are they doing? Okay, they're doing a bit of training. Now, obviously, in a ship this size, it's a lot easier to get up and walk around, something like the Millennium Falcon, something like that. In a fighter, you can't. Oh, Tulip.
I know you had your cat, so I grabbed mine.
Yeah. But yeah, obviously it's really good for them to at least show some travel time in, them doing some training while they're traveling. What a great idea.
This again, it reminds me of, what the hell is my other dog doing? Sorry, I hear something breaking. It's the video game. This again, like all Dave Filoni does is he does video game plot lines. So this is the part like from KOTOR, or even what is the Jedi Survivor? Where you're on the ship and you're training. So this just reminds me of when in like KOTOR 2 and you're training with like the handmaiden in the one room. And I'm like, wow, I wonder where he's getting this plot. Is there going to be a cut scene? And then it goes to the part where like they're shooting and Ahsoka's got to, use the lightsabers in space. And I was like, oh, this is totally not a level in a video game. And then there's the cut scene at the end with the bad guys.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that scene in space. I don't.
I'll be right back. I'm going to go see what my dog is just
right, sweet. So yeah, obviously Sabine is going through this training with the droid. It was fine, I guess. I will say that this entire scene, this opening scene, dragged out a lot. Like if we just go to the starting point of it, where am I? So let's say just over a minute and a half, and it goes to the 6 minute mark, nearly 7 minute mark. So you're talking, 6 minutes roughly of them doing this training. Now, obviously they're trying to show that Sabine is struggling with the training. The thing that didn't make sense to me is that she's done a lot of this training with Kanan, and she wasn't using sticks, or like she was actually using the dark saber. I think in the early stages of that training, actually, she was using sticks. And then they actually pulled out the sabers and started dueling with the sabers. But the fact that she's forgotten everything that she learned with Kanan, essentially. But on top of that, we're supposed to believe that Sabine and Ahsoka have trained together in the past, right? Like Sabine was Ahsoka's apprentice. Apparently, Ahsoka walked away. This is all off screen, mind you. So we're supposed to believe that. But then also, too, when we cut to the next little training scene where they're drinking in the cups and everything, Ahsoka says, start with something small. Like, wouldn't we have already passed that point if she was in the past, if she was going to be Force sensitive, right? Like, she's essentially going over training that she's already done, is how I see it.
I don't even know if Disney pays attention to this kind of stuff, but remember how they said that they made that the first like Chinese only Star Wars novel, and it was only published in Mandarin. Yeah. And so I read the first couple chapters because somebody was translating it. And the whole premise of it is that they're only Asian Jedi, and they're on some planet with aliens, and the apprentice, he's Asian and he is not Force sensitive. So it's kind of like when you build your character, he's a melee character. And so he can't really use the Force, but he has like very limited force abilities. And I was like, oh, it's funny. She's an Asian with very limited force abilities, kind of like they're trying to get the Chinese money, right?
Yeah, well, that wouldn't surprise me if they're trying to.
She looks a lot like the guy that they have on the cover of that book.
Oh, really?
I'll see if I can find the photos. Yeah.
See if you can bring it up. Let me just get this from Lethal. Lethal Lightning for 10 says, "Hey, there's a movie from the 70s that's kind of like this. You might like it. They made 6 movies of it. The first 2 are good, then it's downhill. I think it was called Star Wars or something. Very funny."
Here, I got it.
How you doing, dude?
So this is him.
Oh, yeah.
So again, I only read I'll give it this. It was actually kind of intriguing. I don't know if the person that translated it like just added some oomph to it, because I can't read Mandarin. But I was like, the way that it started off is he's trying to like infiltrate some gangster's house and like get into like a game that they're playing because his master is missing in like some covert operation. And he was like, he had to stay behind, and now he's trying to go get his master, which is not what he was supposed to do. But so he's breaking the mission. I was like, that's way more interesting than anything that Disney has put out. And nobody in America can read this.
Who made it? Was it Lucasfilm made, or was it? It must have been.
I think so, but like obviously it's somebody in China that's writing it, but it's Lucasfilm trying to get the Chinese audience. But this, for whatever reason, this book can only be published in China.
Yeah, right.
Is that AI generated art? No, this is not. This was out before the AI stuff. This came out. I did a couple videos where I read the couple chapters and reviewed them. I haven't gone back to check if the person updated more on Reddit, but I mean, this is before everyone was doing AI generated art. I mean, as you can see, the hands are actually well done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, this is better than anything else I've read from Disney.
Yep. Now you just need to make his hair purple and he'll look like her.
Yeah, see, it's kind of the same thing.
It is. And this does, like, anyway, I won't go into body shaming or anything.
She's just really petite, which it's like you want to feed her, but I feel like she could be a very high fashion model because she has that aesthetic, and they're just not doing anything for her. I actually like her better with the short hair.
Like, I don't know. I'm not a short hair guy. Like
I don't like short hair either, especially on women, but I think it suits her better. I don't know. It just
maybe.
It makes her look a little bit more feminine than maybe the wig that she had before just sucked, but I think maybe it's the bangs. It frames her face better.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just not a short hair guy. I prefer long hair.
Most guys do. I don't know anyone aside from Cecil that likes short hair on women.
So they're basically, Ahsoka then takes over the training and says, like, we need to try something to unleash your force abilities. And she decides to put the visor on her. Again, a little bit of a callback to A New Hope when Luke is training. And she even says one of the same lines, if I can get to it.
I can't see. How am I supposed to fight?
It's kind of like what Luke says. With the blast shield down, how am I supposed to see? I can't fight. Or something. He says something like that. And how do you think this was, Anna? This little sequence between Ahsoka and Sabine?
I don't remember it very well. It was very brief, wasn't it? It's like 30 seconds, if not less.
No, it goes for like 3 minutes.
Oh, this whole entire scene, not the mask scene.
Well, the mask scene goes from the 4-minute mark to the...
Well, it went by really fast when I was watching it.
Nearly 7-minute mark.
So what I was noticing during this part was I was like, okay, they fixed Ahsoka's Laku, which they said before. They're like, oh, we can't because it's going to get in the way. It's like, obviously not. But I just was like, wow, they're actually showing training. But the whole time, the way that they talk to each other is the way your character in a video game talks to an NPC.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to show you this. I saw on YouTube Shorts. Let me see if I can find it. It's a clip of Rosario Dawson talking about, so that is the forehead on her. That's not makeup. That's a headpiece. And so she talks about how she can't move her face. And I was like, all right.
Surely there's got to be a better way. Now there was one glaring part of this that I sort of noticed. So she walks over and stands next to the droid. I can't remember his name, or I can't pronounce his name. And this happens.
Do you know where I am?
Next to Huyang.
Are you sure?
So I watched Disparu's review of this, and the fact that she teleports herself across the room. Now, Ahsoka can move quite quickly, and she can also move very stealthily. I think that's the right way of saying it. But I did sort of notice that too. Like, she was standing there next to the droid. You sort of see over her shoulder, and then all of a sudden she's on the other side of the room. It's just them.
Let me get this on screen share. Okay. You can't refresh it or go to back to
Yeah, that's right. And just turn the volume up too. Click with the volume.
Okay, 1 second.
Forehead piece. They do this whole thing of covering up my eyebrows, so then we can put this whole forehead piece on so she can have this perfect alien forehead that doesn't move, which also makes it a little bit challenging expression-wise. I have a little Brian Syke, who did the makeup. He actually gave me one of my foreheads. It was a very strange thing when we were filming. He kept taking my forehead pieces off and putting them in a drawer. And I was so curious as to what he was going to do with them, but he ended up eventually actually giving them out as a gift to everyone. This forehead piece,
No wonder she can't emote.
Yeah. So, I mean, she can't move her forehead. But I think one of the things about Rosario Dawson is how, like, she has very arched, like, rounded eyebrows. And I feel like they should have gone more with that, like her natural arched eyebrows, because that's more Ahsoka. Like, Ahsoka, instead of a resting bitch face, she has a resting smile face. You know?
Yeah.
Put makeup on her. Like, literally, just... I don't know, wax her damn eyebrows off and then just paint it on every time. I think it would be better than making it so she doesn't have a single expression.
Well, this is the thing that I like. Is this a cost saving sort of thing that they're doing in regards to doing the makeup, as opposed to, like, with all the MCU stuff, and even with like Snoke, they had that thing on their head that with all the dots and all, like, wouldn't they be able to do that with this character, and then it would probably come through a lot better?
Probably.
It's just I don't know. I just think, like, okay, so you're using all these prosthetic pieces. You're putting in a false forehead, you're putting in the headpiece, all of this sort of thing, whereas they could probably make the Laku and all of that sort of thing look a lot better if they actually did the CGI than they did the actual prosthetic.
Well, just look at the way that they did Davy Jones in Pirates.
Yep.
Right?
What a great example.
I mean, I like the fact that it's a real headpiece, like, for her Laku, but aside from, like, her eyebrows just do what they did in fucking Avatar. I'm sure that that's too expensive for them, but I'm watching this and I'm like, well, where is your money going?
Yeah, exactly. Desert Fox for 2 says they used a stunt double. LOL. What for? For Ahsoka teleporting across the room, or hello, Blabs. Every time I see her, I need to make sure I say hello. Hi, Blabs. We got 1 week until MozzaCon. Can't wait.
What's MozzaCon?
We're doing a meetup in Adelaide, and we're just calling it MozzaCon next week. All right, so back to this. So Ahsoka wants Sabine to sense her intentions, Ahsoka's intentions, and like sends her around the room. And this, like I said, drags on for a good, I don't know, 3 minutes or so. And it's literally Ahsoka walking around, tapping her on the shoulder, and then you get movements like that. I kind of laughed. I thought it was kind of funny. Oh, I better not play too much. Hold on, let me skip forward a little bit.
I will say this is the best scene in this episode.
Yeah, but for me, it's still not great.
I know, but it's the best part of this episode, and it's still not great. Because I'm like, at least they're trying to like she's trying to train. I'm like, haven't you watched like the Karate Kid, any one of those movies from the 80s? Like, go watch the Karate Kid, go watch Rocky, go watch any of those damn movies, and go watch what a training sequence looks like, and just do a montage episode, or like every episode have like that be the opening is a montage of her doing some kind of different types of training, and at the end of the season she's better.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing, like, she should be actually quite proficient in weaponry. She's a Mandalorian. We've seen her in Rebels actually be a pretty much a badass. Like, she's pretty good with blasters. She's pretty good with swords. She took on one of the Vizslers, and I mean, I can't remember whether or not she won that fight or not. You watched Rebels, right? Do you remember that?
Nope.
Yeah. Okay. But like, to wield the Force, I really want to get to that scene actually, but we've got to get to it. Let me just quickly, Blue-Eyed Scorpio for 2 says, for Blab's mocap fund, thank you. And we also had Desert Fox again saying, Sabine with the practice sword. Is that who was the stunt double? I don't know why you need, like, if they used a stunt double in this scene, why?
I know.
Like, honestly, why? But like I said, that drags on for a good 3 minutes, and then we get the opening thing. It then cuts to Hera on the... Oh, this is the shot that I just wanted to talk about really quickly. This one.
Oh.
I actually thought it looked really good.
Because there's no people in it, and it's all models that they already have that they just copy and paste and change a couple of things on it.
Yeah. But even like these A-Wings flying over. Yeah.
Put some actual Star Wars music over it. It might look good.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the other thing too, is they seem to want to change the music, the way, the feel of it, just through the music. I mean, in Star Wars, music or the score is its own character. Like, it really is. And I don't know. It's kind of like the rock music when Sabine's driving, speeding down that highway on her bike. Like,
well,
what
they should
is
just
with
have
that?
Like, so George Lucas was the first person to have a score throughout the entire movie. And I feel like they should do in the episodes, if they had a score going throughout the entire thing. And somebody asked, is John Williams doing it? No, it's some young guy that has long hair and he doesn't brush it. He does it all. And it's all like from his computer, and he just mixes stuff.
He's probably an activist too, because that's all that Lucasfilm can employ. Probably fighting for LGBTQ rights or something. But yeah, so Hera has a meeting with senators and Mon Mothma. Now, I noticed something, and I must admit, I didn't notice when I just first watched it. Somebody mentioned it in one of my comments.
There's white, like there's no white men.
No, it wasn't that, but that's a point. Yes, absolutely. No, it was the fact that when I saw this in the trailer, I'm thinking, oh, well, this has got to be a flashback, right? It's got to be a flashback because Mon Mothma looks like she woke up out of bed after being on the Andor set.
Yeah.
And that takes place approximately 15 to 19 years before this. How old does Mon Mothma... Does she look like she's 15 years older than she does in Andor? No.
Yeah, when it comes to that, I get it. They're just trying to use that actress to play in. It's going to be really confusing to everyone that doesn't know the time.
Like, they could have aged her up a little bit. They could have at least given her like.
I don't like how
something.
her hair is. They should have given her a shorter wig because Mon Mothma has really short hair, which was popular back in the 70s. So all they really had to do was, and I mean, it's a hologram. Yeah, just add like some
wrinkles.
Yeah, and then make her hair shorter or make it lighter. You know, just lightening an already older woman's hair and shortening it, or giving her like a streak or something, or a few. There you go.
Well, this was my tweet last night. I'm going to show you this. So this is Mon Mothma in Andor.
Mm-hmm.
This is Mon Mothma in Return of the Jedi. And then this is Mon Mothma in Ahsoka. She looks older in between. So I put it in here. So Mon Mothma in Ahsoka is 55, 56 years old. In Andor, she's 41 years old. And in Return of the Jedi, she's 50 years old. So she looks older in Return of the Jedi than she does in either Andor or Ahsoka.
Go back to the original. I actually think she looks younger there than the other two.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, this actress here, I can't remember her name. She's 46 years old.
Well, I think it's because the older actress, she doesn't use Botox.
Maybe, yeah.
And so, like, women that are her age, where she's 46, and she's obviously aging well, but it's because she's using Hollywood enhancements.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the fact that she has a wig and she obviously doesn't, that's her real hair. And her hair looks better there, like, because it's fluffy and alive, whereas the lady that plays Mon Mothma, I'm pretty sure that that's a wig.
Looks like it's pasted down.
I know. So they're trying to make her have like a more feminine, or she kind of looks like Scully right there.
Yeah.
But she should have darker hair and just cut it like Mon Mothma's.
Mm.
I think she would look better with that haircut. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I wrong? I think, yeah.
And it's dark, not like this light.
Yeah. Which they did.
Hair.
Okay, maybe it's the holographic thing, but they did lighten it up a little bit. But you're right. She looks younger in the real one and the original one, and she looks older in Andor, at least in that screenshot.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. Show her from Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, let me see if I can bring that up.
Action figure. So I would buy, if there's ever a girl action figure, I would buy it. And most of them have like the heads can like rotate 360 because it's like a ball in there. Like, so it's like a ball joint. And so I would take off their heads and switch their outfits. But the Mon Mothma one was like freakishly tall compared to all like the Leias and Padmes. And that's the same actress that's playing her now, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, she's younger because that's 20 years ago.
True.
Bring that stupid headpiece back. Look, she's got the hair. She's got the original hair in that one top photo. There you go. Click that one. Yeah, look. Put that hair on her now. There you go.
Yeah.
Bring back that hair.
There's the original. Yeah, that looks way better.
Mm-hmm.
Way better. Well, there you go. Anyway, that was just something that I noticed after the fact with this scene. Is, again, in the trailer, I thought it was a flashback because how can Mon Mothma be the same age that she looks in Andor?
You know what?
Anyway, go on.
I feel this is one of the things that I don't really like about like there's some sci-fi that do it really well, but the aging thing. So the way that we look now when we're at like 50 or 60 is the way that they should look depending on what future they are in, is like at 120. Like, because the advances that they should have made at this point in medicine, especially with like the Bacta tanks and everything, humans should at least have a 200 to 300 year lifespan. And so, like, the whole how people look and the age thing, I think if they just had kind of like how they do superheroes, like Batman is always the same age, Superman's always the same age. I think once you get to a point, like if you have an actor and actress that's like in their 50s or 60s and just say, oh yeah, I'm like 120 or I'm 200, because at this point they should have made an extent to the human life, or how with the Sith, how the Force ages you. And maybe if you're a light side user, you could be a lot younger looking or more youthful, but you're really old, something like that.
But I think that's also dependent on the species. Like if you're just a normal human, you might get a little bit extra life, being that you're in such a universe that's got amazing technology that could probably extend your life a little bit. But you know, to say that a human could live as long as Yoda, for example, like 900 years,
like 900. But no, I think at least at this level of advancement, because I mean they're over the entire galaxy. So Star Trek is a little bit under as far as like the level of civilization. So I watched that one guy who's like the not NASA scientist, but that one Asian dude that's incredibly smart, and he talks about how like if there are aliens like on Earth, like we don't know how to communicate to them. And he's like, it's like you as a human being trying to have a conversation with the squirrel. The squirrel just can't understand you because we're on a different level of intelligence. So he's like, we're on like, we just broke like the first level. And so then he said Star Trek is the second level where they're going through solar systems, and then Star Wars is like the highest level advancement where you can travel throughout the entire galaxy with ease, and you're harvesting the powers of stars. So he's like, that's the highest level that we can comprehend. And so at that level of technology, you should be different alien species are different, but as far as humans, you should easily be able to live at 200 years, right? I don't think that's yes, that guy. I don't know how to say it, but yes, that Asian.
This one.
Yes, however you say that. But so when it comes like with Bo-Katan, I get it. It's because Katie Sackhoff, she's a great actress, and she was the voice of Bo-Katan. So yeah, she should be 60. But I'm like, all right, at that point, if we're up to the part where we can have ships the size of moons and we can blow up planets and we can travel through hyperspace and we can't look like we're in our 30s when we're in our 60s, like that sucks.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the idea that it's maybe 200's a bit much. Maybe 150, something like that, for a normal human in the universe. But I don't know about
if you're not wealthy and you can't have like, because I obviously don't know what it probably depends on the planet and if they're in the Republic or even the New Republic. But if it's like a thing like, oh, we can easily like just grow you a new liver, we can grow you a new body, but we can just put you in a Bacta tank and it heals you and it keeps you looking young. I think that
if they can rapidly age clones, I'm sure they could genetically slow down.
Also with the amount of space travel you do, that's got to slow down your aging as well.
No, fair call. All right.
That's just me when it comes to like the ages of characters. I'm like, I know this is wrong, but if I can come up with a solution to it in my head that's not too out there, like I'm not fixing their problems, obviously, but I'm like, if it's the future and you have somebody that's 20 years old telling me that they're actually 40, I would be inclined to believe them because I'm just at the advances. Like, look at Kim Kardashian. She's like 40 something and she looks like she's in her 30s, but she had a lot of work done. But like, if we can do that now, I'm pretty sure in the future they can do that then.
You can use an explanation to suspend your disbelief, basically. Yeah.
I mean, Darth Vader can survive everything that we saw Anakin like burned and
And
Or-
Darth Maul survive.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, I can, as far as characters, human ages, I can make little exceptions for it. Just
Mhm.
little ones. Just little ones.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So Hera is asking for either the fleet or a part of the fleet to go and find out what's happening with Thrawn. And this scene was a little bit, I don't know, it was weird to me because you've got this guy here who is completely against it and basically just prodding at Hera in regards to, her hope that that Ezra's alive, and you just want to use our fleet to go and find Ezra, sort of thing. And Hera has a little bit of a cry. She gets all emotional.
Well, I'm just like, why does this guy know?
Why does he know?
Why does this guy know about Ezra? And then I feel like they had to have an antagonistic character. And I'm like, okay, this would have been a perfect time to have a Bothan who argue with fucking everyone.
True.
That would have made so much, and that would have been cool. Because have we ever seen Bothans? I can't remember if we've actually seen it in live action. Let me go look.
I don't know if we've seen it in live action. I think we saw it in the animated stuff.
Mm.
But it's funny that they put this alien in there. I can't remember his species, this guy here. And he doesn't say 2 words, though. Like,
yeah, okay, no. So we've never seen Bothans in live action.
Live action, yeah.
So Mon Mothma was the one that brought up the Bothans, right? And the whole thing, well, it's I think it's in the Hand of Thrawn duology about the Bothans and the the documents that they were trying to hide, and so they have to go. Oh, fuck, what was that called? I want to say like the Bothans Accords, but I feel like that's wrong. But remember how they have to go, Gran?
No, that's the name of that species, this guy here.
Okay. Well, Mon Mothma is the one that mentions the Bothans. The Hand of Thrawn is about like the shit that went on behind the scenes with the Bothans and his clone. So that would have been this would have been a perfect opportunity to introduce a Bothan and have the Bothan the one that's arguing, because that's what they fucking do. They argue with everyone.
Thalia, that's right, from Heir to the Empire. But see, that's the thing, OG. We don't want them to bring those characters in. I don't want to see failure. I don't want to see. I don't want to see half the shit that we're probably going to see. They're going to bring in.
Do you know how much the furries would lose their goddamn minds if there was a Bothan in Star Wars? Disney is so degenerate. You're telling me that one of those SJW purple-haired freaks, it doesn't have a heart-on for a Bothan and didn't want to put it in Star Wars? Come on. These people are so bad at being the weird freaks that they are that they didn't even go for the most obvious character that could have been added to this. Aren't Bothan? Yes. Well, they're like, I think they're more like cats. Like they're described, but they have like the manes, they have the snout, they have like really pointy ears.
Do you want a picture if you can? Okay. Yeah.
I'll Google one. Yeah, dude, the furries would lose their goddamn minds if there was a Bothan in Star Wars.
Yes, they would.
Okay. I think this is just like fan art. This was like the original, the one that I always saw of a Bothan, and then obviously there's been more since.
Yeah.
But I'm like, guys, this is a furry's wet fucking dream in Star Wars.
Yep.
And everyone would lose their minds because of like, oh yeah, remember when Mon Mothma said a bunch of Bothans died trying to get us the plans or like trying to get us this information? So wouldn't it be cool if we have Mon Mothma in this episode, we have her on the holograms, and oh my God, the guy that's arguing is a Bothan. Why doesn't anyone that works at Star Wars know shit about fucking Star Wars? This is so irritating. And you can have the Asian dude that's there be the voice or be in the damn bodysuit of the Bothan. Come on. Can everyone put a 1 in the chat if you think I'm right about this? Stroke my ego a little bit. my fan theory about this, please. Like, don't you guys think this would have been cooler? this guy's an asshole and he's all pissed. And he can, like, even like this. So he's got a trimmed mane. Instead of having a full flowy mane, it's all trimmed and he's all like militaristic, even though she says, like, did you even fight in the war? And he's like, no. Oh, see, all the ones. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
100%. But this is the other thing too, is it seems like the writing and the storytelling of this is so shallow on the surface with what we see in this and the way he's arguing his point. Like there's just this. Hold on.
I'm going to take a screenshot of that, of him at that one scene, and I'm going to Photoshop the shit out of it and make it look like a Bothan, and I'm going to show you guys how much cooler it would have looked. I'm going to post that shit on Twitter. I'm going to tag Disney, be like, you guys are retarded. Thank you.
You conveniently use a threat of Thrawn's return to acquire those resources that could be put to a more practical purpose, helping the people of our fledgling republic.
But then, where's this bit?
Battered and broken, they have no central.
I know because I fought against fighting a war, and that's why I'm trying to.
Quickly died with him.
You don't know that,
General Hera. Allow me a moment to speak with my colleague.
Hang on.
Your friend Ezra Bridger heroically.
That's why I'm trying to convince
Oh,
you.
that guy, the black guy. Guys, tell me in the chat if this is the guy or not. Is that the gay doctor from Star Trek Discovery?
This guy?
Yeah. Is that the same actor? Maybe not. He doesn't look the same right there. There's another view of it that looked the same. I could be wrong. Never mind. Keep playing.
There was one bit in this, I can't find it now, but there was one bit in this where Hera's like, what, you just sat back and waited to see who came out on top? Like, full on, like, having a dig at one of the senators. I mean, it's probably a bad way to go about it. Obviously, she's getting all emotional because she lost the love of her life in Kanan.
Well, not only that, like, Ryloth has been, which I would be shocked if anyone at Disney knew what Ryloth is, even though they've shown it in the Clone Wars. But her planet's been like occupied forever. It would have made so much more sense if he was a Bothan. And then she'd be like, oh, you didn't fight, but like your people did. You just sat there and had other like subordinates do all your work for you. Like she is, right?
Yeah.
She's doing all the dirty work. Mon Mothma at least did like some covert shit that we have seen and that obviously we know about. But this guy, this new guy, it makes you so mad.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. This is the thing with the writing and with Star Wars now is, again, they've made the universe really, really small. Like this scene to me, despite the fleet that you see and all of that sort of thing, it is literally Hera, Jason, like there's not really too much, even when you go to after this whole thing and Hera's like, let me speak to my colleagues. And then you see Jason Syndulla, Chopper.
Why is he Mexican?
I don't know. Because it's Disney Star Wars.
I know. This is what bothered me when they first showed him at the very end of Rebels. And he hasn't aged either. He's the same age as he was in Rebels. Like what? He was 7 or 8. He should be like 15 now, like between 13 and 15, which I get it. You kind of want, because kids, when they start going through puberty, like they age really quickly, especially boys.
Yeah.
So I get it. They went with a little bit younger. But when I saw that at the end of Rebels, I'm like, you fucking retards. You guys already, specifically Dave Filoni, you guys already showed mixed, like with Twi'leks and humans. Remember the clone that like had a Twi'lek wife when they went to Ryloth and they had the son and the daughter who were half human and half Twi'lek?
Yeah.
Okay, so they still have the Laku, right?
Yeah.
So
Head tails.
The only way I would accept that he didn't is if the mom was a human and the dad. Because in that scenario, the female, again, was a Twi'lek and the father was human, just like Hera and Kanan. And so I went way too deep into this because I was looking at like ligers. So like the difference between, what is it, a Tyon and a liger.
Mm-hmm.
And so how when you have a lion dad and a tiger mom, the baby's going to be, what is that one, a tiger? Yeah. And when the tiger is the dad and the lion is the mom, that's a Tyon. or
Yeah.
tiger on. They look different. I'm going to pull it up. So I think that should be the same damn thing with Twi'leks and humans, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to pull it up. Liger.
But the other thing too is like just because his mother's skin is green, like what? We're just going to make his hair green.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's going to be a natural green hair color because yeah. Let me hit while you're doing that. Let me get this. Abunas for 5 says salute to you both. Please, for the love of God, scorch, maybe this lame show. I need a laugh behind this rough day. I had to work. Lucas era is still the best. 100% Abunas. Hopefully we can. There's not much to laugh at. We will get to that one scene that does kind of make me laugh, but dude, this show, yeah, we'll scorch it.
Okay.
Are you good?
Yeah, share my screen. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. So when you got the tiger daddy the lion daddy and the tiger mom, you get a liger, and they're ginormous. Like ligers are the biggest cats. And then when you get a tiger daddy and a lion mom, you get a tigon, and they're little. So that's what I'm saying. So let's say it's like let's just for argument's sake say that the tiger is the Twi'lek and the lion is the human. So it should have a different when the baby is made, it should be different like this, right? And so if we would have seen, so in the Clone Wars, or this is Rebels. So in the Rebels episode, we see these two children. Here we go. So Twi'lek mom, human dad. This is what their children look like. So
that's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, we even see that in. That's Clone Wars, not Rebels, or is it Rebels?
Yeah, Clone Wars, whatever.
Clone Wars.
Okay, so but yeah, you can see obviously. So Twi'leks come in many different colors, and kind of like humans, like we come in all. Well, we're not like neon colors like Twi'leks are, but based on where you are from, if you're a Twi'lek, that depends, and obviously your parents on the color of your skin. But so he's a human. She's not. This is what their children look like. And they're the same mix that Hera and Kanan are. So why the fuck does their kid look like this? That makes no sense. And I saw something. So here's the chart. Okay, this is stupid. So they said like Twi'lek passing, human passing. The person that made this is retarded because your Laku grows as you get older. And I think they're done growing by the age of 7, like the length. And then as you get older is when they get long, or like they just grow with your body.
Yeah.
And so is this too small for you?
No.
Okay. So they put him as like in the middle. I'm like, no, you fucking dumbass. His Laku is going to get longer as he gets older. So this whole Jason, and why the fuck doesn't he have his dad's last name?
Yeah.
Even in Star Wars, they had Luke and Leia. Well, yeah, obviously Leia was adopted to hide her. Luke had Anakin's last name, which I don't know. When Anakin heard, oh, Luke Skywalker, who had that last name? I guess it could have been Owen, but no, his last name wasn't Skywalker, it was Lars. But still, it makes you so angry. So this whole thing, like this, he had giant ears. Why is I think my screen frozen?
That one, yeah.
He's got some big ass fucking ears.
So they're just going to grow out into head tails.
It's so irritating. I'm like, this is not what he should look like. He should literally look like these two children because his parents are mixed the same way that, there's it makes me so mad. Okay, done with my rant. But can you guys put a 1 in the chat if you think I'm right again, please?
Yep. Affirm her.
Let me know if you guys agree with me, because it drives me crazy.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Like even when you see Jason at the end of Rebels, it's kind of like, why am I just seeing a human with green hair? Like the skin color doesn't change the hair color, but he shouldn't have hair at all. He should have head tails, really, at the end of the day. Patrick T for 10 says, in the Bible, people lived hundreds of years before the Great Flood. The explanation is greater exposure to UV after the Great Flood caused everyone to age quicker over time. Yeah. Well, I don't know. We spend a lot of time indoors these days. Maybe people will start living longer. I don't know. I saw this guy who was 108 years old or something diving into the ocean. Had to get helped up off the chair, but he jumped into the ocean. I don't know. Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate that. And Desert Fox again for 5 says they replaced the Bothans and Han Solo's origins in Rogue One. Well, you know, Han is from Corellia, right?
Yeah.
And that's where they go to in this episode to the ship. In the second episode to the shipyard. But yet Han Solo in the Solo series is like, I'm not from anywhere, and that's why they gave him his name Solo, because he's like doesn't have people.
Imagine having that's a plot point of how you got your last name. Like instead of that's just his fucking last name. Who the fuck cares? That's like, I mean, if you did a whole movie about the backstory of why your kid is named a certain name, okay. And like it's a whole flashback on like the parents' life on why they named their kid after this thing. Like that could be a little understandable, but that's not what the show is about. It's like, oh, you're a lone solo. I was like, I'm sure he had a last name.
That was so stupid. So stupid. All right, back to this. So Jason says that he heard that Auntie Sabine is going to become a Jedi. And then he says that he wants to be a Jedi. And Hera's like, yes, I know. Like, I don't know. I think he's got more of a chance of becoming a Jedi than Sabine because of his father.
His dad.
Yeah. So, again,
so now last time we did this and we talked about who we thought Merrick is on if it's Ezra or Kanan. Now people are starting to agree with me that it's Kanan because of the way that he moved.
Yeah, I don't know. I still see a lot of Ezra in him. Even in this episode, you've seen the episode, right?
I did, yeah.
Because I know you haven't done your review yet. But in this episode, you know when they're flying through the Purgle, the space whales, right? He turns and like has this really like interesting look on his face. Well, you don't see his face, but it's this really interesting turn and look at the whales. And it makes me think that it's Ezra. I still think it's Ezra. And there's a lot of people out there that are still thinking that it's Starkiller.
Starkiller? Where did that come from?
Oh, yeah. There's heaps of people think it's Starkiller. Star Wars Theory thinks it's Starkiller.
You know what? I'm going to go stalk the shit out of Sam. How the hell do you say his last name?
Sam Witwer.
Sam Witwer. I'm going to check his Instagram story. That's where they
there's a thing going around, a video of him in an interview from a while back of him saying that Dave Filoni was interested in bringing him in as an Inquisitor.
Oh.
So it very well could be.
So we'll see.
Oh, now, there was a scene in episode 1 where Sabine is on Ahsoka's ship and she's looking at the drawing that's on the wall next to the bed. I've come to realize that that's actually Sabine's art when she was training with Ahsoka the first time.
Mm.
It wasn't Ezra that did that. It was Sabine that did that, but it's from when they were training the first time, which we never got to see.
Okay.
And Sam Witwer also has a voice credit for that character.
Oh, well then maybe it's him.
But I think it's a bit of a bait and switch. They're going to make everybody think that it's Starkiller, make everybody think that it's Starkiller, and the reveal will be that it's Ezra. And it's only because the only reason why he's doing the voice acting for it is because he's under the mask and he can. I agree with that. Star Wars series, a wishful idiot. Yep. I agree with that. After Anna bails out, because obviously she's got Jack's show later, we're going to get through this episode. I'm going to keep going and go through a couple of things that came up this week. Okay, so then it cuts back to Sabine and Ahsoka having a drink together. And this is where we get the explanation from Ahsoka of how, like, anyone can be force sensitive. Anyone can wield the force as long as they basically concentrate hard enough. How did you feel about this scene, Anna?
That was I was like, that's not. This is the only thing that came out of Disney Star Wars that hit the nail on the head. And it's when Han Solo says, that's not how the Force works. Like, that should be the poster for all of Disney Star Wars, is just Han Solo yelling, that's not how the Force works.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like they're really using the explanation that the Force flows through every living thing to explain why somebody can use the Force. And all you need to do is concentrate hard enough or be... Oh, it's so annoying. It's so infuriating to me because they take away... essentially, they're taking away, like, a unique element of actually being a Force user, right? Like, there are some kids in families, right, where the brothers and sisters aren't Force sensitive, and there's this one outlier that can literally use the Force from a really young age and, you know, make things levitate and all of that sort of thing. It's like that basically means to me that, you know, Anakin's friends in Phantom Menace, that's Wizard Annie. Like, any of those guys could pilot a pod as long as they concentrate hard enough and use the Force enough so that they've got that precognitive, you know, perception, like what Anakin had. It's so ridiculous.
It really
is so ridiculous. And I know that there's a lot of people out there coping with this. One of them being Star Wars Theory, saying like, oh no, this is George's law. George said this. I'm going to show you something. I was going to bring this up after Anna left, but I'm going to bring this up now. Hold on a second. This one. This is the amount of cope that and justification that people are coming up with for this. This guy knows. This is the thing that pisses me off, though. This guy knows his shit. Now, the only reason why he's coming out and justifying this and saying it like this is because of his goddamn Filoni boner, right? He loves Dave Filoni, and he thinks that Dave Filoni is the savior of Star Wars. Not that I don't know what they're saving it from when he's sitting there going, every episode is an 8 or a 9 out of 10. What's the problem? It doesn't need saving in your eyes, does it? Anyway, this is him justifying basically Ahsoka's line.
George had said that everyone in the Star Wars galaxy is Force sensitive.
Everyone has the Force in them.
That's not what he said. Everyone has the Force in them. That doesn't mean that everybody is Force sensitive.
Everyone. And there's two sides to the Force. The dark side, which is selfishness, and the light side, which is compassion.
George said in the Star Wars archives with Paul Duncan, he said, it's like learning karate. Everyone can learn karate. It just depends on skill, how much you practice, how much you train, and of course, you know, talent. And of course, talent. Talent is a key in that fucking whole thing. So not everybody can be fucking Force sensitive. Not everybody can wield the Force. If everybody could wield the Force, then everybody would try and wield the Force. Everybody, from smugglers to thieves to the high-end people to the low-end people. Everybody would be just sitting there concentrating on, how can I use the Force? What can I do with the Force? Because it's in me. Yes, it flows through every living thing. There's a very big distinction between the Force flowing through everything and everybody being Force sensitive. He opens up and says, which is a complete lie, he opens up and says, George said that everybody is Force sensitive. Incorrect. He says everybody's got the Force in them.
Well, this is what I'll say. for George's thing. So when George says everybody has the Force, that's like, yes, every human is capable of doing math, right? Like every human is capable of reading and doing math, but not everyone is going to become Stephen Hawking's, right? Not everyone has the same mind like Stephen Hawking's. Everyone is capable of trying, but there's no way I could do a decimal of the shit that Stephen Hawking was able to do. So I think that that's what he means. Like everyone has this within them, but not everyone has the ability to use it. And so that's what George was saying. But yeah, everyone's entitled to their opinion of what they think.
This just makes me think of, if you think that you're a woman, you're a woman. If you think that you can use the Force, then you're a Jedi. Just think it, believe it, and that's okay. I'll just finish.
For example, extremely talented, and he trained not as much as, let's say, Obi-Wan Kenobi, but he was on par with Obi-Wan, if anything, more powerful. Nick Gillard came up with a power system. Obi-Wan was at a 7. Once Anakin went to the dark side, he jumped a level and passed, and he jumped up to level 9. Is literally just verbatim what George said.
The guy in this archives book.
Okay. Don't trust what anyone says except for George Lucas. That's what I'll say. And we already know that Anakin's level was not a 7 because maybe his knowledge of the Force was at a 7. But they even said, I know people don't like the midichlorians thing, but when Qui-Gon tested Anakin's midichlorian count was off the fucking charts. And he says it's even higher than Yoda's. And Yoda was the strongest with the Force than anyone. And because Anakin was a stand-in for Jesus, right? Like he's the Messiah character that goes, that goes the wrong way and has to, be redeemed by his son. That was what George was doing. And so yes, Anakin's stronger than everyone. Or as far as
always was, even when he was a Jedi. Yeah.
No, so I don't trust anyone that gives ratings to things aside from George Lucas. I just don't. That's not your story. You didn't create Star Wars. The only person that I will take actual Force ratings or anything from is George Lucas. So, yeah. And George, did all of the original movies and the prequels. What George had in the movies is what you have to go by, not a book that some fan wrote, even if the fan works for George Lucas. But do you mind if we get back to the episode? Because I am going to have to leave I think the latest I can stay is 7:30, but I still have to make dinner.
Yeah, no, all good. We'll get back to it. Okay, so I hate this. I hate the whole concept of essentially just anyone can use the Force. And that's basically the idea that Ahsoka is putting into Sabine's head here. Again, I don't understand why we're doing this lesson. She's like, start with something small when it comes to the cup, right? Hang on, so Ahsoka moves the cup across and then she's like, start with something small. But hang on, haven't we done training already? Wasn't Sabine Ahsoka's apprentice already? Have you not already taught her this lesson of starting with something small? So then it cuts to Ahsoka in the cockpit. They're talking about Sabine. How do you think she's going? And she's frustrated. Well, based on your explanation, Ahsoka, frustration leads to the dark side. So again, being that you didn't train Grogu because of his attachments, because that leads to the dark side, but you're training Sabine, who's got frustration, which also leads to the dark side. How does that make sense?
Sabine has so much. Okay, yeah, obviously Baby Yoda is older, but I'm you do realize that if you do not train Baby Yoda and he bonds with somebody that is evil, he could do so much more fucking damage because of how strong he is versus some chick that can't even use the Force. Do you know how retarded that is? And the fact that Ahsoka Tano doesn't pick up on that. Ahsoka, who is one of the most empathetic and compassionate characters, doesn't pick up on that. I'm just It's like Dr. Seuss's Wacky Wednesday book. I feel like that's normal compared to this level of absolute retardum.
Yeah.
I'm not mean to retards. No offense.
Yep.
I know I keep saying that. I think because of
It's
Twitter
okay.
getting mad at me for saying it, I just want to say it more.
Let me just quickly get this. Mike Hill for 21 months, dude. Thank you so much. Mike's a great dude. Han Solo, there's no mystical force that controls my destiny. That's right. That's right. There's no mystical force that controls anybody's destiny. Oh, and we also had Mr. Bentham, 2 girls, 1 cup Disney edition.
It really was. That's all I thought of.
So they're having that conversation. Hera comes through, and Sabine starts trying to use the Force to get the cup.
That's not how the Force works.
It's not how the Force works. And I like, the funny thing was, like, even when I was sitting there watching it, I'm thinking to myself, oh, it's maybe going to move just a little bit. We'll get a little bit of nothing happened. And she's like, when Ahsoka calls Sabine into the cockpit because Hera's talking, she's like, you win this round, she says to the cup. So then she goes into the cockpit. They're talking to Hera. Hera basically says that they can't bring a fleet of ships, and they get the transmission gets jammed. Anytime I think of jamming transmissions now, all I think about is Spaceballs with the Raspberry Jam.
They did it right.
Yeah. And then the fight ensues. Basically, there's 6, I'm not going to say TIE fighters, but enemy ships. Sabine's got to go to the tail gun. Ahsoka got rid of all her presets. And it was like, yeah, because I didn't need them. But Ahsoka, if you're flying the ship, who's in the tail gun where you don't need presets? Like, anyway, it's basically just there for banter. Like, the whole thing is there for banter. Now, this was something that I noticed when I was watching Disparu's review of this scene, right? Why are all the ships on this same, like a 2D plane?
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're in space here. You can attack from above. You can attack from the side. You can attack from underneath, right? Every single way that they're coming from is up. There's no down. There's nothing like that. And I thought it was funny when she says, all right, dive now. I'm like, dive? Okay, maybe just go down. Or like, down. I don't really know how you'd say that, but the ships were just basically following behind them. Now, obviously, these ships here move faster than Ahsoka's ship. But why not just slow your thrusters down, stay behind the ship, or come in from the side, or anything like that? There's so many elements to this fight that are just wrong when it comes to a space battle. Sabine and Ahsoka are, back and forward at each other. Like, Sabine's like, hold it steady. You're in space, you're being shot at. Now, also, too, the amount of blasters that actually hit their ship, right? These ones here, they don't do any damage. Now, I know that there's deflector shields and that sort of thing, but eventually your deflectors are going to wear down, and the amount of times that they actually hit the ship, these are like, I don't know, lolly blasters. They don't do anything. But this just goes on for a while. They eventually start working together. Even the way that she talks to Shin, right? Like, I'm surprised you let them get this far. Like, are you guys supposed to be on the same team or something? Aren't you? Anyway, so the turbo blasters, they basically take out the ship with the turbo blasters from the hyperspace ring. Now, just in that little clip that we saw there, I have a little bit of an issue with these blasters, like the blaster shots blowing up like right next to the ship. If they're going to miss the ship or not be deflected by the deflector shield, aren't they just going to go past the ship? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
or maybe like get absorbed into it is what I've seen.
or that. Yeah, they don't really blow up into a puff of smoke. I thought it was also funny too that when they eventually do get hit and it disables the ship, the only one to get knocked out is the droid.
Well, I think that's from like an overload, right? But so this was my like the initial first problem when I watched this, because I'm not, when it comes to battles, I'm just not inclined to think that way, and so maybe it's I'll use the girl. I know people girls get mad at me for this, but I'm like, I'm sorry if you're a girl that is inclined to like battles and shit. I just kind of watch it and I'm like, I hope the person that I like wins, kind of thing. But okay, this is their weapon, like their ultimate thing that they need to get to Thrawn. Okay. Look at how much, and I understand the Empire was at the height when the Death Star, right? And when the complete Death Star, first A New Hope, it didn't really need anything. Obviously it had all the TIE fighters on board, but it didn't need like a blockade of ships around it because it was already done. It was operational. It could zap anything and they were like, this thing is so strong, nobody can destroy it. But the second Death Star had all the security, all the ships around it. It had literally they had to go down to Endor to block off, to get off the shield, so that way they could even attempt to blow up this thing. So this is their ultimate, not weapon, but their ultimate device that they need. They need this thing to work. They need it to be done being built so that way they can get to Thrawn. They've already done the thing on Corellia with all of the, bribing people and having people have covert operations so that way they can get the hyperdrives that they need. So this is important. Why is there only a few ships guarding it?
Mm-hmm.
They should have every ship that they can spare to be guarding this, because if it ruins their entire operation if it gets destroyed or if the Republic finds out about it. So they should have come in slow and just looked at it and been like, how are we going to get closer to it? They have to say, they should have hid behind like a moon or a planet, like the planet that they're on. They should have hid on the other side so that way they couldn't have picked up them. And so that way they could like try to figure out. And so that could have been a lead up to the episode, is that, all right, we got here, we're hiding, we only have a certain amount of time before this planet makes the rotation, or we have to stay parked here, or before one of their ships makes a patrol around this planet, because if they find us, they obviously have, in theory, a ton of guards for this ship that we're by ourselves. Like we don't have backup. If we get fucked over like they did in this episode, there is absolutely no goddamn reason why they should have survived this. They're by themselves, no backup. I don't care how many Jedi were on this ship. They should have died.
But this is the other thing too, is you say that it should be being guarded by ships and things like that. What ships have we seen them have? This is the other thing too. Like they've got these little transport ships, right? That Morgan flies around in, and the two Dark Jedi fly around in, and that's pretty much it. We've never seen them go to like a capital ship or anything like that, where they probably should have one. This is my point. They probably should have something like that. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't seem that they do. They seem to just, the writers, they seem to forget how these, like the remnants of the Empire should still have some resources.
They should have Star Destroyers. Thrawn had Star Destroyers.
Yep. They should still have some sort of resources.
They should... Just because the Death Star got destroyed, that didn't change the fact that they had fleets spread out throughout the galaxy. And yes, some hated the Emperor and they would be loyal to the New Republic. But guess what? Some of them, like Thrawn's Super Star Destroyer, were still loyal, and they all recognized Thrawn as the next in line. Or there's probably some other power-hungry bad guy that is running a part of the fleet, or somebody like this Morgan chick. And so they should all be loyal to the most powerful person in charge. That's the way the chain of command goes. And heck, you could even have a character that's like Jafar, where he just is like loyal to what he sees as the law, and they can see these people that came in the New Republic as the usurpers, and they're still loyal to the Empire because that's what they grew up with, that's what they were raised in. So it doesn't make sense that there's not one. And that could have been the big thing, is that we're all meeting here and they'd be like, holy fucking shit, this just raised the stakes up. They got like 3 Star Destroyers here blocking this. Like one, I think if they would have had 3, and then the little ships, like that would have been a huge problem for them to overcome. There's no stakes in this. It's like, oh, the bad chick that already stabbed you and like didn't kill you, because you women have the ultimate shield armor or plot armor in Star Wars. So there's what, a bunch of little ships that are blocking this, and the one bad lady's bigger ship. Where the fuck are the other ones? They should have gotten other ships. They should have at least, if not 1, at least 3 Star Destroyers there, because this is what they need to get Thrawn. The people that are loyal, that are hiding from the New Republic, that are still loyal to the Empire. How many ships, guys, in the Thrawn trilogy? How many ships did Thrawn have? Because he had a decent amount. He was giving Leia a run for her.
Well, and he was trying to get more as well. He was almost successful at one point too. Well, this is the thing. We've got the Chimera, which was his ship, but the Chimera in Disney's canon was what the space whales flew away with Thrawn and
I thought they just bit through it and swallowed him. No? I don't remember.
They grabbed the ship and then they went off into hyperspace.
Okay.
With smashed windows and shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's obviously not Thrawn's. I'm saying that there would be other
100%.
admirals or generals out there that have a Star Destroyer that aren't loyal to the New Republic.
Yep.
That are fighting the New Republic. Heck, in Thrawn, in the Heir to the Empire, heck, even in the Heir to the Empire that takes place 10 years after Heir to the Empire, there's like, so you'd go to some planets and they're still dealing in Republic credits, not Empire credits, not New Republic credits. So it's not just contained in this one small area that the second that somebody takes over, all of a sudden everything changes. No, it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
It takes time to implement those changes, which is why senators like Mon Mothma are having such a pain in the ass of a time dealing with all the political outfall from the war.
Yep.
They're busy. They got shit to do. That's what that one Asian dude was bitching about. He's like, we got all this shit to do. So if Ahsoka and Sabine rolled up to this place, they see the weapon and they're like, fuck, they got Star Destroyers. The Empire is not completely dead, and they're loading up. Everyone's coming over here and gathering to protect this weapon because they're going to go get Thrawn, bring him back, and we're going to have an all-out war again. That would be a great lead-in. That would build up suspense. That would raise the stakes to a whole nother fucking level, aside from this, I don't know, girl crying mommy problem drama. Mm-hmm. And it would actually be a story, but they're too stupid to know that.
But see, that's the other problem with that scene with the senators.
Mm-hmm.
The scene with the senators, like these senators and everything should be like, well, you know, obviously the Empire isn't completely gone. Yeah, we won, we beat, you know, Palpatine and all of this kind of thing. And they even mention in there that there's remnants of the Empire flitted throughout the New Republic in all different levels of government, all of that sort of thing. It's been very, very well known in amongst those groups of people that there is those people that have come over to the New Republic. But then those people should know as well, the ones that have come over to the New Republic should know that there are still more people that are still loyal to the Empire. And like even Hera says in that, like, long live the Empire doesn't sound like, you know, they're on our side or something. She said something like that. And it's like, didn't you guys get the report? Like, you know, these people were arrested. That must mean that there's more people out there that aren't loyal to the New Republic and that are still, you know, thinking that the Empire is long live the Empire. That's what they want. And for them not to at least give her some support or anything like that. Like, imagine if they had have talked through it and they actually had have done it well, written it well, and had some good dialogue and all of that sort of thing, to the point where they come to a compromise that they give Hera like a ship, one ship. You can have one ship to go out there and see what's going on. And then while they're in that battle, instead of that they get, let's say they get disabled, their ship, Ahsoka's ship gets disabled like it does here, right?
And just as they're about to be blown up or something, Hera does show up in the Ghost with another New Republic ship.
Well, no, I mean, people are saying Filoni is a hack. He fucking is. Okay, you and I, based on like the stuff that they already have, we could sit here and come up with a better episode. And so we could build suspense based on everything that you and I have just said. So this episode was 34 minutes, but 5 or 6 minutes of that was the recap, and then the other 5 to 6 minutes were credits. So this episode's like 25 minutes. Okay, so. Well, that's me being nice. It's a 25-minute episode. So you and I could sit here and we could plot out a Game of Thrones, let's say 50 minutes, and the end will be like the credits. We have 5 minutes for the recap and 5 minutes for the credits. So we got 50 minutes. It's a 60-minute episode to do the story. We just came up with a better one that's suspenseful, that, I don't know, something... The battle does happen, and then there's the ship breaks or the droid thing, and they have to crash land, and you want to watch the next episode because we don't know if they made it or not, which they obviously did because there's another episode. But we just fixed it. We came
100%. 100%. But this is again the problem is in the previous episode. They just went to the shipping yard where they were building a hyperdrive core for a ship. For a massive ship, right? That the New Republic isn't building a ship that size. That report would have got back to the Chancellor, Mon Mothma, and all the senators.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They put a tracking beacon on that ship, and they now know where that has ended up, that massive hyperdrive. Wouldn't you think that the New Republic would be like, well, holy shit. They were in one of our shipping yards. They happened to build the biggest hyperdrive core we have ever seen, right? Maybe now that we've got a tracking device on it and it's actually at its destination, we should at least investigate it, shouldn't we? No, it seems to be Ahsoka, Sabine, and Hera's little story over here, and everything else with the New Republic is completely disconnected from it. That doesn't make any sense.
Nothing.
That doesn't make any sense.
In the show. It's so bad.
It's so bad. So anyway, the ship gets disabled. Sabine says there's no hyperdrive, no cannons. They're basically dead in space, right? Now, anyone out there, if you are the enemy of these people and you're in your ships and you've got blasters, you've got shields, you've got access to power, all of that sort of thing, what do? You shoot the ship and blow it out of existence. That's what I would do. But for some reason, Ahsoka decides to go outside. And
remember, that's what I said. I was like, they should have died. Like, right, the second they lost power, they should have fucking died.
100%.
You know what would have made sense, though, is if Sabine had some kind of device for an emergency situation like that, and she's like, it blocks or it fucks up their shooting. Like, so, like it fucks up their targeting array, and so the only way that they can destroy our ship is at close range, like what I don't know your guys' metric system, but well, let's say like 100 yards. I don't know how many meters that would be. 100 meters. There you go. So they have to be within 100 meters, which is really fucking close. Which that would be a reason why Ahsoka gets out and does this scene. Like, that would be the only thing that makes sense. We're dead in space. I have this random machine that I built myself that I've been perfecting. And she can say that. She's like, it might not work, or I don't know how long it's going to work before it burns out. And it fucks their targeting. They have to be within 100 meters and they can't log off. They have to manually shoot us. And that would be the only reason that could fix this goddamn scene to make it make sense why Ahsoka gets out there in her spacesuits and use her lightsabers. Because they have to get close and she has to block them.
That makes sense, yes. But what else doesn't make sense in this is how Sabine, using a screwdriver under a desk, fixed the part of the ship that got blown off when they're drifting through space, and the effect of the blast has actually
affected the hull of the ship, the outside of the ship. It seems like once Sabine actually turns the right screw and it's able to start the ship back up again, it's like nothing ever happened. No, like they never even got shot and got shut down. It's so fucking bad. So anyway, the ships decide to start shooting at Ahsoka as opposed to shooting the ship. This ship is dead in space. Now, they don't need to even do flybys. They could literally stop in space. They could stop right there and just target, bang, 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 boom. Ship is gone. But no, they do these flybys. It's like we're in fucking, like on Earth, right? Fucking in atmosphere or something. Why are they coming on that same plane? Why aren't you coming down from the top? Well, like, I just don't understand. Like, nothing in this really makes sense. So Sabine's still trying to fix the ship. And this is where we get this. The flybys, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Slow your ships down, stop, and blast. And why are you shooting at Ahsoka? And is it possible to deflect a beam from a TIE fighter or an enemy ship like that with a lightsaber? I don't know if it really is. I'm just trying to think if Luke ever blocked a TIE fighter blast with his lightsaber, or anyone for that matter. I think it would be like, it's kind of like, you know, shooting a handgun compared to shooting a fucking cannon. Can you really block it with a lightsaber? I don't know. Chat, you answer that one.
Everything about this is stupid.
So Ahsoka's drifting in space. Sabine moves the wing up so that she can run down it. Now, when she runs like this, wouldn't her running like push her off the hull of the ship? Like we're in space, right? So she's propelling herself forward, but as she's doing that, the knees are coming down and pushing her off the hull. I don't really know.
What I would say is in Star Trek, they have shoes that will stay on the ship when they actually have to go outside the inner
magnetic boots.
Yeah, and so that way they can still walk. It's more difficult for them, but so that way they stay on the ship or attached to the ship. Ahsoka, the only thing I was like lenient on for this scene and like making excuses for it was because I'm like, well, she's so like, she's been doing what? She's 40 something now. She's been using the Force for over 40 years. She should be able to have that much control to where she can use the Force to keep her attached to the ship or to use it. So I was like, okay, she's using the Force some way.
Yeah, okay.
But that's me making an excuse.
Yeah, I understand that they can deflect speeder bikes.
That's different
on a speed. That's different than a ship. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. So yeah, then they fly down to the planet, and this planet just seems to be infested with Purgle, the space whales. I don't know why, but they're there. Now, I want to just get to the scene where we see... Hang on, I can't play too much. Let me just take this down for 1 second. I want to show you the bit that I saw with... Sabine's like, I didn't see that. We haven't seen these things since Ezra got taken.
We'll see, and that could be the excuse as to why it is Ezra, is because Ezra had like a rapport with them, so maybe they brought Ezra back. And they left Thrawn there. But that doesn't make sense as to why Ezra would be evil.
Well, maybe this is my theory.
right, is that for some reason, Thrawn is stuck in this galaxy. I don't know why. I don't know what the purpose is. Maybe he's not stuck. Maybe he's got like a new fleet or something there. And what he's done is he's manipulated Ezra and sent Ezra back to go and get help.
They would have had to brainwash him. Well, so the Chiss are from what the uncharted regions of space in their galaxy. In the galaxy that Star Wars has always taken place in, that's where Thrawn is from. The Chiss are from there. They have their own empire, and Thrawn kind of infiltrated I'll just say ours, like, because it's our Star Wars. Thrawn infiltrated ours, right? And so there was, what was it? He talks to one of them in one of the books. He talks to the Chiss. And so
Thrawn does.
Thrawn does, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a communication between him and I think it's a female Chiss.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Right? And so I thought that it was always Thrawn doing, like, so Thrawn had to rise up in the ranks to the highest level he possibly could so he could get all of that intel back to the Chiss. And what it led you to believe was that the Chiss were going to come and be the next invaders. And the Chiss were going to take over this section of the galaxy. And because Thrawn is very intelligent, like when you think about based on our rating of human intelligence, like he is beyond genius level. So he's been decades he's been acquiring information on our section of the galaxy, and he's been feeding it back to his empire. And so my thing is, like, are they going to try to say that he's actually from another galaxy? I'm like, real, because it's like we have the Death Star, and they're like, we have an even bigger Death Star. Like, that's what they seem to be doing.
So this was the scene that, again, made me think that it's Ezra. This character is actually Ezra. Just the way he looks over his shoulder there and he's looking at the Purgle. Like, I don't know. It seems like there's maybe a little bit of recognition there. I don't know. We'll have to obviously wait and see. But that's just what I thought when I said. The more and more I see of it, the more and more I think that it's Ezra. She almost looks like she fucking just blink once. All right, so the Purgle, we fly through those. They basically seem to be able to get away from them, and they stop in the forest. They shut down the systems. They fly over the top, and then the droid comes back to life, explains to them that it is a hyperspace ring, and there's 6 hyperdrives on it with one motherfucking huge hyperdrive at the bottom. And it's obviously designed to travel interstellar, into galaxies, other galaxies. Then Baylan cuts to Baylan on the planet saying they're here, hunt them down, and basically kill them. And that's the end of the episode.
I hate saying this, but I really hope his character dies, like either that his apprentice kills him or Ahsoka kills him, so that way it like gives the actor like justice.
Well, I think Sabine's going to kill him.
That'd be stupid, unless she gets the Darksaber back and kills. No, I think it would make more sense if it was his apprentice, and she's like, if that is Ezra, and so if they want to train him in the Force, it doesn't make sense that there's 3 of them. If she kills him and then she's like, I'm going to be the master now, and then Ezra will be her apprentice. And that's why Ezra's there, because she's been grooming him. That would make, based on all my knowledge of Star Wars, that would make more sense, because the apprentice always kills the master when you're Sith. And so
but they're not Sith.
What the fuck ever. They're Disney. They are Disney version of the fucking Sith. Yeah. No one's ever really gone. No one's ever truly evil. Oh, they got
everyone can be a Jedi.
This now is orange lightsabers. They're not technically Sith. They're using the fucking dark side. They're bad. Okay?
Yeah.
They're bad. They're bad people. They want power. Go read the fucking Sith code and then get back to me. They are the Disney stand-in Sith characters because Disney's too scared to go all the way bad, even though Kylo Ren's fucking murdering people and he can still be the love interest, and we're the toxic ones for calling out that shit. It's like, didn't he just murder, like, I don't know, trillions of people on all those planets and have species? Like he destroyed what, 6 planets in like the blink of an eye. Oh yeah, what a nice guy. He killed his dad also. What a great guy. That's the love interest. Congratulations, Disney. But
yeah, but then the guy that did all of that was the spy as well.
Yeah, you know what? You know what? They're basically Sith. It would make sense for her to kill him.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I already have my apprentice. And then Merrick takes off his helmet and it's Ezra. That would make sense. And that's a way, because the actor died, if you don't want to recast him, because Disney doesn't recast anyone nowadays for some reason. Oh, maybe they will recast him because he's white.
They'll just use his likeness.
Well, no, that's the thing. Maybe they
CGI
didn't recast Black Panther because they didn't want to be racist. Even though I'm pretty sure that there's a plethora of black male actors that want to play Black Panther, and they could have given another guy a chance. And it'd be like, this is just like what we do with Batman or James Bond or Superman. But no, they're like, we have to retire the character. So maybe they won't retire him because he's white, and they'll just replace him with somebody else.
It's like the Hulk. How many Hulks have we had?
I know. But no, if they killed him and it was her, like, I feel like he's the most compelling because he actually is a good actor. You know, so, like, you want to see more from him. And you're like, he is the least amount of screen time, probably because he's a white man, but he's the most interesting out of everyone in this show, which sucks to say because Ahsoka used to be a good character. Sabine was a decent character. The most interesting guy is the one that gets the least amount of screen time and the least amount of dialogue.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this guy that survived Order 66, he found an apprentice, and he's also doing all that. What has he been doing all this time? How come Yoda didn't sense him? How come Obi-Wan Kenobi didn't sense him? How come none of these Jedi know about him? How come he's not trying to kill Luke fucking Skywalker? I don't know. That's interesting. I would like to know more about that and answer these damn questions.
Yeah. Where is Luke Skywalker during all of this?
He's pushing rocks with Baby Yoda. He's building his Jedi. You would think Luke would be the first person you fucking... this is another... If Sabine needs ships, they forget about everything. Oh yeah, we got to have Mon Mothma. Don't you remember that episode of Rebels where Princess Leia was in it? They could, if they really need the ships, all Hera has to do is call up her friend Leia. He's like, hey, Leia, remember that one time we saved your ass on Lothal? Hey, we kind of need an army of ships, and you're a little bit higher up on the totem pole than this jerk Asian dude that just got introduced. Do you think you can give us some fucking ships? Oh, by the way, you remember that guy Thrawn? You remember him? Yeah, they're trying to bring him back. Don't you think that's a problem? Oh, yeah, Princess Leia, Senator, whatever the fuck you are now. Hey, Princess Leia,
General.
Don't you think this is a problem we should fucking fix? Oh, by the way, Ahsoka's back, and by the way, she knew your fucking father? Don't you want to hear from her?
Yeah, it's true.
This is
.
Star Wars is retarded. Like they are so stupid. I don't understand. It's like if breathing wasn't a reflex, so many of them would be dead.
Yeah. No, I completely that's another great point. Where is Leia? Where is Luke? Where is Han? Where are all these people? Why don't they exist?
Why is nobody doing anything? Why are these characters that literally know each other? Why is nobody calling each other? Hey, somebody that would be very sympathetic to our cause, that has money, that is in a position of power, that can give us exactly what we want. I don't know. Why don't we fucking call them? Also, she owes us a fucking favor because we saved her.
Yep.
She also knows Thrawn and knows what a problem he is.
They know each other.
Yes, and that's not how you spell Leia. Yeah, go there.
They know each other.
Let me see if I
want to just bring this up. Crazy Mad says Ezra is not Merrick. That's retarded. Well,
It's Disney.
it's Disney. That's right. So based on the fact that you acknowledge that that's retarded, when it is revealed that it is Ezra, be consistent. That's all I'm going to say. It's kind of like everybody was. There was this one guy in one of my comments of one of my videos telling me, that I'm wrong, but also basically saying, there are problems with it. It was a decent conversation with somebody that obviously didn't like what I was saying. And I basically got to a point in the conversation where I actually said to him, so if they make Sabine Force sensitive, in your eyes, is that like a retcon? Is that a bad thing?
Yes.
And the person's like, yes, it is. And I'm like, okay, good. So when it actually does happen now, and we're moving more and more towards that actually being the case, all I'm going to say is when it comes to the criticisms, be consistent. Don't sit there and say, oh, but they explained it really well. No, because basically the explanation that we're getting right now in regards to why Sabine can be Force sensitive is because Ahsoka said that the Force flows through everyone. That's it. That's your explanation. That's what you get.
How the Force works, and it's so frustrating.
Yeah. Hera had evidence she never showed from Shipyard. Well, they should already know. These senators and everything should already know what's happened. They got arrested. They even mentioned. Mon Mothma even mentions that they arrested the people that were involved. These senators already know what's happened. They already know the situation. They already know that there's a hyperdrive out there, but then they refuse to give Hera the help that she's apparently needs and that she's apparently asking for. It's a little bit ridiculous. No one in this universe, in Disney Star Wars universe, acts like a normal human being. They don't act like a normal person. They don't react like a normal person would react in these situations when they're revealed certain things. Nothing happens the way that it should. Nothing. Patrick T for 5 says, if you had 2 Death Stars destroyed, wouldn't you go back to the drawing board? Oh, yeah.
Again, the people writing this are retarded.
Mm-hmm. And then we've got Elder Scrolled 2 for 2.
Elder Scold.
Scold. Thank you. Here's some cash for Anna in her element.
Thank you.
Yeah. You've been on fire
Rhino
tonight.
and I have been trying to do like a stream together for years, and like my schedule is just so crazy, but the only time I ever have consistently is Jack Show. He's like, what about before the Jack Show? And I was like, as long as I have enough time to eat in between, I'm good. But yeah, no, it's hard to find people that are still willing to talk about Star Wars that aren't shills. And that's like, they only talk about Star Wars because that's literally their livelihood.
And they talk about it because they love it so much. The seals clapped. Hey! The thing is like surface level for this series and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, it looks fine. It looks good. I think there's some shots that actually look good. The music is off on a lot of scenes, like really off. But then as soon as you start diving into the writing, motivations, character development, all of that sort of thing, and then, of course, the explanations of lore that come into this, I don't know how anyone that actually truly knew Star Wars, knew what it was and knows how good like it actually can be, can sit there and say that this is any good. I just can't.
I know.
I just don't get that. And it's kind of like I said, I don't understand, like, even some of the big channels. I noticed that Den of Shills, put a video out the other day about, is Dave Filoni saving Star Wars? Well, I'm sorry, Josh, but aren't you one of those people that said that Andor, like, you gave it a really high rating, and you gave Obi-Wan Kenobi, you said it had its problems, but you still gave certain elements of it really high ratings? Mando, seasons 1, 2, and like maybe it died off a little bit for you in 3, but weren't you giving that like really high ratings? What in your eyes needs to be saved? What in your eyes needs to be saved? You're the one out there giving it fucking 8, 7s, 8s, 9s out of 10. So what needs to be saved? Like that's a complete oxymoron to say that. To be giving these shows really high ratings, really giving them good, they're on the right track. They've turned the corner. It's going really well. Things are, I really like this. I really like this. But then come out with a video saying, is Dave Filoni saving Star Wars? From what? Saving it from what? Because in my eyes, the lore, the continuity is a big thing, right? I mean, it's one thing to have Sabine train with Ahsoka off screen and really confuse I was Rebels audience, right? It really confused me. But then, there was years that went by and Ahsoka came back to Sabine and trained her for a little while. And then something happened where it blew up. Wouldn't it be good to actually show that instead of just having us believe what training did they do? Again, it brings me back to this episode when Ahsoka is teaching her a simple basic lesson, right? That didn't she do that in the previous training that they were doing together? I don't understand. And to think that Dave Filoni is the savior, he is an absolute hack. He is disloyal to George Lucas. Dave Filoni is the one that revealed this to everyone. And there are still people out there that don't believe it. This is the thing that blows my mind, is that Dave Filoni said that George wanted Ahsoka dead. I can't believe there's still people out there that don't believe that George wanted Ahsoka dead. But Dave Filoni was the one that revealed that. How disloyal do you have to be to the maker, to the creator, to go, oh, you don't own it anymore? Fuck you. I'm going to do what I want.
Well, not only that, he's like, nah, you're wrong. I like her too much. Instead of giving her a noble death, or he could be like, oh yeah, she died, but she came back as a Force fucking ghost. Or he could have made up something else about her species and been like, oh, she was reincarnated. She's like the Dalai Lama of her species, right?
Well, I understand what you're saying, but I don't like that. But
I don't like it either, but I'm saying if he really is like, oh yeah, George told me I had to kill her, so I did, but she came back. I'm bringing her back somehow. That takes away from it, or I don't know, create another fucking character.
Well, this is the other thing too. At the end of Rebels Season 2, when you actually think that Vader did kill Ahsoka before they bring her back in Season 4, I think that death had a lot of weight behind it. She saved Ezra and Kanan from Vader, and they had that little conversation where, Vader goes, Ahsoka, and then she's like, I won't leave you, and then he goes, well, then you will die. Like that. I mean, she should have died at Order 66, really.
She should have.
Just like all the other Jedi, like Balin and shit like that should have died.
She supposedly died, and then they brought her back with the World Between Worlds. So it's like, okay, so you already had it. So this would have actually been kind of interesting as a way to bring her back. Is they're like, well, let's say back when Vader was still alive in Rebels, they're like, we need to find a way and because let's say that they still didn't know about Luke or Leia or Padme or any of that. They're like, okay, well, something happened to Obi-Wan. Maybe he's dead. What if we go back and maybe the archives got destroyed so they didn't know about his apprentice or something? They're like, let's go back and try to bring back Obi-Wan Kenobi and see if he knows about what's the weakness. Or did they even know about Anakin at this point? No, they didn't.
No, well, they shouldn't.
They should. Okay, well, let's say that they didn't know exactly who he was. And so they're like, let's go back to the Jedi Temple because they know we know he's a fallen Jedi. And so he became Sith. So what if they went back and they're looking through the World Between Worlds? They don't know that it's Anakin Skywalker. They see Anakin and Obi-Wan and Ahsoka. And they're like, wait a second. We know that this is Darth Vader. Maybe they don't know his name yet. We're like, we know that this for a fact is Darth Vader. Somehow maybe they have some kind of machine that goes off when it senses Vader, that it sees Vader. And so they see Vader or Anakin in the World Between Worlds. They don't know his name. They see that Obi-Wan is lecturing about something and like maybe it's a random point in time and he walks off and then Anakin starts confining in Ahsoka and they're like, let's bring her back because that's who we saw Vader, young Vader, before he became Vader, confining in. And then they pull her out from back then.
Yeah, I don't...
I'm trying to fix their problem.
Yeah. No, I see what you're doing.
That's my way of fixing their problem. Here, I'm like, I don't want to work for Disney, but if you hire me, I will fix it for you. I will clean up your goddamn mess, Disney.
No, Anna, don't do that. Don't fix it for them. The only fix is to decanonize what they've done and start again.
Bro, I'm over here like I want to make it so everything I watched and sat through and had pain for gets redeemed. I want to redeem everything. Or maybe whoever fucking buys Star Wars after Disney has to start selling stuff, because I really hope this company goes bankrupt. I hate that I have to say this now because I grew up such a hardcore Disney fan. Can't fix stupid. I'm going to fucking try.
You can't do it. You just need to decanonize, reinstate the EU and do those stories.
I am like,
that's the best way.
Challenge fucking accepted.
That's the best way. See, this is the thing though too, is that the world between worlds it's not really time travel though, Anna. Like, if you remember when Ezra pulls her out through the portal in the world between worlds and they split off when they're leaving the world between worlds, Ahsoka goes back through the portal that she got pulled through.
Mm-hmm.
And Ezra goes back through the portal that he got into the world between worlds through. So in their respective time periods, nothing has really changed. Although maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes went by in each world before they actually appeared back into their respective time periods. It's still one timeline. There's no, you wouldn't be able to change it with time travel, so to speak. So like Vader killed Ahsoka, but Ezra pulled her through. While they're in the world between worlds, Vader's like, what happened to Ahsoka? Where'd she disappear to? What the fuck happened? And he flies off on his ship, and then Ahsoka goes running back through the portal, and she ends up back in that same... That's why it made no sense to me that Ahsoka was talking about Sabine the way that she was and everything, because once she went back through that portal, she was in hiding so that Ezra could still, in her time period... Ezra could still go through everything that he went through, the loss of Ahsoka, the loss of Kanan, all of that sort of thing, without Ahsoka's interference, so that he would make it to the world between worlds. The world between worlds isn't the fix. That's the thing, and that's where I think people think that the world between worlds can fix it, and it actually can't. Not with the way that they've set it up. But of course, this is Disney Star Wars. They can change it. They can do whatever they want. They can make it make sense, I guess, or try to make it make sense. Patrick T for 5. Anna, don't turn into a Disney seal while I'm still breathing.
How am I a Disney seal? I literally criticized and I've called them retarded like 100 times this episode.
You're not. You want to fix
literally
the stupid.
Trying to fix their damn problems.
Yeah. Can't fix stupid. No, like I said, the only way that you can fix Star Wars now and Star Wars can come back to what it used to be is to literally decanonize what they've done. And I would even go so far to actually decanonize the actual Clone Wars and start again. It's the best possible thing that you can do. You keep your 6 movies and that's your foundation. And then, look, if you want to do the Heir to the Empire story, you do 3 or 4 animated movies, right? Because you can't have Carrie Fisher. You can't have Harrison Ford will never come back, right? If you want to do those stories. But then you can jump forward into do some live action Jaina and Jason Solo, Anakin Solo. No, it is Anakin Solo, and you got Ben Skywalker. Like, you know, that's the best way that you could possibly save Star Wars from its ultimate destruction. Because what it's doing right now is so lackluster and so boring. we're 3 episodes into Ahsoka. We're nearly halfway in the first season of Ahsoka. And what have we seen? What have we got? We've got retcons from their own shit. We've got continuity issues. We've got law-breaking problems when it comes to how the Force works and how people can wield the Force. So I don't know. Patrick T for 2 says George Lucas gave KK and Filoni too much power. That's so true. I mean, look, I'm not taking any responsibility away from George. He did sell it to Disney when he said earlier in life that he would never sell to these big studios. He's the one that put Kathleen Kennedy in charge. But I truly believe that Kathleen Kennedy is a snake in the grass in that sense. Because the whole reason why George put her in place in that position was because she was going to stay loyal to George Lucas's Star Wars. She said it to his face in that interview, right? She was going to be loyal to what George Lucas created. And the moment she gets power, the moment she takes control, she fucking stabs him in the back. So I truly believe that he was weaseled by her. Like, that's it. Kathleen Kennedy is a fucking snake, and she turned the Force female. And what are we getting now with Ahsoka? Fucking her to the Empire.
It's like that Batwoman quote. Like the suit is literal perfection. It will be once it fits a woman.
Yeah. How pathetic. How pathetic. Well, that's pretty much it for the breakdown. Is there anything that you want to, anything more that you want to close out on?
The island or the planet, right?
What's that?
They just get to the planet and then it's like the white guy and he's like, they're in there somewhere.
Yeah, go find him, kill him.
And guys, we've spent more talking about this, obviously, than the entire episode. The episode was like 25 minutes long. And It's just, as slow as it is, it goes by really fast. Like, I turned it on and I was like, okay, I usually watch the episode twice so that in case I missed it, because obviously the first time it's like, well, what's going to happen next? And then the second time, because you can notice more things. And I turned it on and I was still like messing with like my computer and everything. And all of a sudden I hear the credits and I was like, what the fuck? What just happened? And I watched it again and I was like, this goes by like really quickly.
Really fast.
Like, the lack of planning blows my fucking mind. How you spending hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars on a TV show, and there's no fucking plan. This is what everything that's going to happen in this episode or in this season. Let's get it down to an hour, which 50 minutes of actual story each episode. We get 5 minutes for credits, 5 minutes for recaps, and let's do that. Let's get it. How many episodes are in this season?
8.
Why? Do 10.
I know.
So 80 hours? No, do 100 hours. That's pretty good. I personally think that that's too short. You should have. I like the old format where it's like almost 30 episodes per season.
But there's probably going to be a Ahsoka season 2, and Ahsoka season 3.
So like just do Game of Thrones, 10 episodes per season, an hour each, so 50 minutes per episode of actual story, and plan it out that way. We need it to start here and end here. Okay, and something in the middle that is, keeps it going.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need. And they can't do that. They literally cannot do that. It's like,
but this story, hang on. But this story, Anna, this layout of this story that they've got doesn't even make a good animated show.
I know.
Sometimes you can give a couple of leeways here for an animated thing, right? You can allow something to pass that's a little bit ridiculous or whatever the case may be. This doesn't even hold up if you animate it. It's that bad. So the fact that they've got no plan, like Dave Filoni should know better. Like, honestly, yes, he should know better. He worked under George. He should know better. He should know Star Wars better than most. But it certainly comes across when you watch these, at least these first 3 episodes. You watch what he's done in Mando. You watch what he's done with, like, the assistance with Obi-Wan, Boba Fett, all of that sort of thing. Like, this guy doesn't even get it. He doesn't get Star Wars anymore. He's been sucked into some other he's been sucked into the world between worlds and gone out in a different portal. He's
using somebody else's IP to do the stupid shit that he wants and not the good stuff he should be doing. He thinks he's smarter than God, right? I see Dave Filoni as a Judas type person. Like, I think that's really what it is. It's like him and Kathleen Kennedy are like Judas.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. Well, now that we got through the episode, I do have to get going because I have to eat.
Go and eat.
Thank you for having me on. This was fun.
Of course. Yep. Thanks for coming.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll do it again next week.
Yeah, I took
as long as we can keep
3 hours, so that was fun.
Yeah. As long as we can keep the time and Anna's free and not organizing wedding stuff and all this other stuff that she's doing.
Decide to surprise us with a visit. So
or that, then hopefully we can maintain this for the next few weeks while Ahsoka is going. But Anna, thanks for coming on. Is there anything that you want to plug really quickly while you're here?
Yeah, guys, go back my calendar. I'm going to reveal my Psylocke photos tonight on Jack Show. Go subscribe to my channel. Go follow me on Instagram. Go follow me on Twitch where I play the video games. And guys, I will see y'all later. Thanks for hanging out with me, Rhino.
Of
Bye.
course. Thanks, Anna. Bye. And it's back to just me. So there you go, guys. That's the breakdown. I see a couple of you guys saying, well, let me just hit this super chat actually from Patrick saying, I'm never going back. So thanks for enduring pain. You're welcome, first of all. And thanks for the super chat. For me, I know I should give it up. I know I should stop watching Star Wars altogether because it is painful for me to watch and I really don't like what I'm seeing. And then people are like, why are you watching it if you're just going to hate on it? If you already know you're going in already hating it. I don't go in already hating it. I will say that. I go in with an open mind about it with basically the prediction that I'm going to hate it. Like they've given me nothing. They've given me literally nothing, not even Andor, right? They've given me nothing for me to truly believe or think that Star Wars is going to get any better or it's fixed or whatever the case may be. Nothing like that. I can't. It's just, but in saying that, because I love Star Wars so much, original Star Wars that is, I need to know what they're doing. And that's why I watch it. Until I get to a point where I'm like, nah, that's it. I'm just done. I will continue doing that. But see, I feel like for somebody who loves genuine Star Wars as much as I do, if I just let it go and then everybody else that is in the same boat as me just let it go, then all you've got is the seal clappers. All you've got is the people that just love everything that they're doing. The newest thing that comes out is the best thing we've ever seen in Star Wars. It's the best Star Wars we've ever had. It's the best Star Wars since Empire. Like, are you serious? Fucking serious. So yeah. Let's see.
Hello, what have we here?
Oh, am I late or something?
Hi. What?
What did I miss?
You missed the whole breakdown, man.
Oh, well, do it again.
No. I've gone through it enough.
I can see the bags under your eyes, the pain that this was a bad one. But at least now we know. At least now we know that because the Force is in everything is Force sensitive. So all those times that C-3PO didn't use the Force to help Luke out, he's a jerk.
Well, take droids out of it. Just the fact that they've now made it that anyone can be essentially Force sensitive. You can use the Force as long as you basically concentrate hard enough. then you're all good. You're all good to go.
So does
Like-
this confirm Darth Jar Jar? Then,
Well,
if that's
yeah.
the case.
Probably. He is force sensitive. Can use the force. Yeah, pathetic. I didn't like it at all.
Not even
but what-
the space flips.
Not even.
Dude, I know it was painful. I know we've discussed it before, but like when you've got to make your bad guys genuinely stupid in order for your heroes to be good, then you've got no story there. You've got nothing. You don't even have set pieces.
100%. And this is why all I can say, the only good thing that I can say about this show is that some of the shots look good.
Yeah, some of them don't. Some of them do. But okay, here we go. It's in focus. There we go. That's a good positive for you.
Yeah. The music's pretty bad. The writing is terrible. The continuity is terrible.
What a waste of Ray Stevenson as well. Like he better do something crazy soon because he's just standing around doing nothing.
He'll be in a battle scene soon, I'm sure. And Anna might be right. They might actually get Ahsoka to take him out.
I thought it might.
Sorry. They might actually get Shin, the apprentice, to take him out.
Yeah. That makes more sense.
And yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Every time I watch it, I just die a little bit more inside.
Well, you're almost halfway through the season. That's the sad part.
I can't believe it. And nothing's really sort of happened. The characters don't act like their animated counterparts. They really don't. Their animated counterparts emoted a lot better. They had a bit better character development, a bit more, backstory, all of that sort of thing. Whereas this, like I said, they don't even look or show up to be like their animated counterparts.
Well, that's the sad part. The animated characters actually feel like they were alive. These ones don't, and they're humans.
Yeah. All right. Before we get into
Except Chopper, yeah, sorry. Yes, you're right, Michael. Except for Chopper.
Before we get into some of these things that I want to go through, and we are going to do Seal of the Week, I just need to run to the bathroom really quickly. So I'm just going to put in a break here. Let's see, what can I play? I'll just play this one again. It's literally 42 seconds, which won't be long enough. So when they come back, entertain the chat for a couple of minutes or like a minute. I'll be right back.
How long are you taking a piss for? Jesus.
I'll be quick.
Start running. Go.
I said Lyndon would go to the tree and do some ASMR for you, Lethal. In your honor.
I'm so sorry. He'd be hugging that tree. And then he'd be punching it and slapping it, going, "You took my friend." Kicking it. How dare you?
That would be you, Rhino.
Nah. I'd be there going, "Why? Fuck you, Disney! Why?"
All right, so I noticed that a couple of you have been asking about what happened with Lyndon. Lyndon's still around. He's just got an extremely busy work schedule at the moment, and it just happens to be when we're doing streaming. That being said, he will be appearing time to time on the Full Aussie, and who knows, if everything goes to plan, we might even be able to meet up with him face to face one day. Who knows? So that should be good. But yeah, no, he's still around. We still talk to Lyndon. It's just he's just extremely busy with his work schedule at the moment.
That's an old school clip, that one. That's from
Yeah,
early days.
that was the first time I heard you say like fuck you, Disney sort of thing.
Oh no, the one of the very early, this is where this clip comes from. One of the very early days of the Full Aussie is where I did this one.
They came bounding over.
Fuck off, Disney! You fucking cunt!
Yeah, but I'll say that was probably the first one that I watched it when it happened.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, so Lyndon's not dead. He's just working himself to death. Very similar.
Yep. All right. Let's move forward. I'm going to smoke while I do it.
Oh, you're a bad boy.
Yep. Naughty boy.
So do you think Star Wars is the drug that you're not going to be able to give up?
Probably.
Yeah, because you are addicted to it. You know it's bad for you, but you still keep going back to it.
Probably, yeah. It makes me sad when I start to actually really think about it. It actually makes me sad. It makes me it just annoys me that we're even at this point with Star Wars, where again, like I said, when they bought it, it was laid out for them. It was there for them. All they had to do was adapt the stories they had. And instead of that, they decided to change it. And now because they've changed it, they're changing all elements of Star Wars, like the whole training thing with Sabine, right? And trying to make her Force sensitive, trying to allow her to unleash her Force abilities. What's the bet that they're building up to an ultimate fight in the very last episode, and Sabine is just going to be fucking Force, using the Force like all over the place, powerful as fuck?
See, I really hope that it continues to the point where she looks like she's gonna be able to use the Force, but then just doesn't, because that would suit her character down to a T. All the training that she got with Kanan and all that would actually be for something. But then again, they're replacing that whole.
But also absolutely, but also too, we're already at a point where Sabine should be dead. She's been stabbed with a lightsaber.
Oh yeah, but didn't you see the diagram? Apparently, your liver and gallbladder, and that's not vital, and it cauterized the wound, so there's no such thing as infections. So
it's just they've changed the importance and how deadly a lightsaber can be. They've changed.
Changed the relationship between Sabine and Ezra.
Oh,
that was
yeah. There was always supposed to be a romantic relationship there. Like Ezra was always trying to get Sabine's attention.
But she'll end up with Shin.
Yeah, she got revered. That's right. This is the thing, that they've changed Star Wars to the point where it's not even recognizable as Star Wars anymore. The only thing that makes it recognizable as Star Wars is the Easter eggs and the references and the seal clapping moments that you get. Oh, look, it's A-Wings. Clap, 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 clap. Oh, look, it's a TIE Fighter. Clap, clap, clap. It's a lightsaber. Clap. It's, a character I knew. Clap. Oh, they said the line. Clap.
Oh, it's just like A New Hope. She can't see because the blast shields are down.
Yeah. Well, I made that point in my video too. Yeah. Anyway, let me bring this up. So they did drop some numbers. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk going on about this. Apparently, Disney came out and said that 14 million views. 14 million views, but Somber TV have got this saying that 1.2 million households, which is low. When you think about Star Wars and you think about how big Star Wars is, I know that Greg and I once did a calculation based on the box office numbers for The Force Awakens compared to the box office numbers for The Rise of Palpatine. And obviously the difference in the numbers. But when you think about Star Wars and how big Star Wars actually is, 1.2 million isn't.
But you've also got to understand that's over 6 days. That's not even the premiere.
Well, that's the other thing too. That's the other thing too, is that this is over 6 days, whereas on all the other reports that Somber TV have usually come out with, it's usually over 4 days.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. The new name of the game is inflate your own numbers until people believe it. The only people that they've got to try and appease is their stockholders, and Disney's good at one thing, and that's moving money around to make it look like they're in profit, even when they're not.
Yeah,
this is all a part of it. Like they'll say, "Oh no, on the app itself, we've got the true analytics. It was actually 60 million different accounts that used it." and then they don't have to prove any of it.
But that's the other thing too, is that they do lie. 100%, Melissa. They're being sued for lying about their numbers on Disney Plus to the investors.
Yeah. Well, that's straight up fraud.
So
But
them
to
saying
us,
that
they
they've
can
had
say whatever they
14
want.
million views is I can't believe that. I can't believe that at all. SJ says Sabine and Ezra will end up being brother and sister, the Disney way. Well, he has already mentioned that she was like a
Yeah.
sister to him.
That's what. As soon as I heard that, I'm just like, oh, all right, that's what they're doing.
And Patrick T for 5 says, I'm modding out a Jeep JK now. Pitbull off-road vehicle. Nice. Better money spent than gay Star Wars. Yep. 100%.
That's true.
Yeah, 14 million worldwide. I still don't believe it. And how do they get the number? Like, why can they release a number for this, but they don't release a number for anything else?
Because the numbers are too low, and they've got the mentality that if we tell people that it's higher, more people are going to watch it thinking it's more popular. Most people don't realize they hear 1.2 million households, and they're like, "Holy crap!" So that's a lot of households. It must be good, so I'm going to watch it.
Yeah,
but
that's nothing. That's a stone
that's
throw in the ocean. The 14 million views as well. Does that count for like? Are they just seeing how many times it's been clicked on and opened up? Because that means that me running through that episode then is a view.
Counts as one. Yeah. Or if you get to the menu and you know how it does a little preview and it plays part of the episode, that counts as well.
I just
That's what Amazon did with Rings of Power. They had it on their actual Amazon website where it played part of the episode as the advertisement. So they were able to put that down saying that was a view.
Yeah. I just don't believe him. I don't believe him. And the 1.2 million households over 6 days, that's a small number. That's a small number for Star Wars. All right, so there was a couple of things that I want to show you here, and this is Star Wars Theory Coping. We already watched a bit of this one, but there's this one here. So let's just watch this. It's a minute long.
Oh, Dave's going real old school, George. Okay, I got a lot to explain.
Anger and frustration are quick to give power, but they also unbalance you.
A little bit of lore on the dark side.
Involving Thrawn.
So why a little bit of lore on the dark side, yet Ahsoka won't train Baby Yoda, but will train Sabine because of he wouldn't train Grogu because of his attachments and the connections to the dark side, but will train Sabine for that reason.
And also, since what is frustration and emotion towards the dark side?
Yeah, true. I'm sure there's been times where Obi-Wan was frustrated with Anakin. In fact, we've seen it.
Yeah.
And that didn't lead Obi-Wan to the dark side.
There he is.
Force resides in all living things, even you.
This is literally a page out of what George said.
No, it's not. I want to make that distinction very fucking clear. Yes, the Force flows through everything. It is everything. It surrounds us, binds the universe together. But it doesn't mean that every single person can use the Force if they just concentrate hard enough. That is ridiculous. It's ridiculous and pathetic. And the fact that he's got such a Filoni boner, I'm telling you, he's got such a...
It's called a Filona.
He's got a Filona. No, I like Filoni boner. He's got a Filoni boner.
Clip that.
Yeah, that's fucking bad. He's got such a Filoni boner that he needs to find a way to justify it. He needs to find a way to say, "Oh, George said that," and that's not what George said. And we'll watch the other clip again.
Hey, hold it steady.
Bro, she just sucks at everything.
Yes, she does.
Bro, that's Starkiller. That's Shut that Star Killer. What? What the hell are we about to see? There's no way. There's no way. Holy shit, this is so dope.
No, there's no way. Holy shit, this is so dope.
Like, it means you have to be high on dope to enjoy it?
What the fuck? Why would you even clip this out? This is from his Twitter account. And he contradicts himself. And then he goes and gives what's going on, he says. And then obviously he's brought out a video justifying, oh, they did it in Clone Wars, so, you know, if you like the Clone Wars, you better like this. You better not have any complaints for this.
There we go. The Purgo, baby.
Bien, could a ring like that make a jump to a neighboring galaxy?
Theoretically.
Bro, so badass. Oh,
See,
Dave's
how am I
going.
What was badass that they could make a jump to another galaxy?
I don't know, man. Filoni made it. Filoni fucking made it. I want to watch this one again.
George had said that everyone in the Star Wars galaxy is Force sensitive.
Incorrect. He'd never used the words Force sensitive.
Everyone has the Force in them.
Everyone has the Force in them. It doesn't mean that they can wield the Force. It doesn't mean that. And again, if everyone can be a Jedi, then no one's a Jedi. It's like
No, you just gotta wish hard enough and concentrate, and you can do it.
Stupid. It's so stupid, and it's all because of his Filoni boner. He truly thinks that Dave Filoni is making good Star Wars. I mean, I don't know if he even actually believes that, though. He's
That's
sitting
like
there
saying,
on the fence saying like, "Oh, what's going on here? Oh, that's dope." Like, what? Contradiction. Oxymoron. Makes no fucking sense. What you just said. You just contradicted yourself.
yeah, but that's even that whole, like, using the analogy. It's a terrible way of doing it. Like in Avatar, the Last Airbender. Does that mean that everyone can bend water because they've got water in them? Like,
yeah,
you've got to be trained to you've got to. I mean, George created midichlorians for a reason.
Patrick T for another 5 says, if you're Force sensitive in Disney Star Wars, why use a spacesuit? Well, yeah, look, even though, well, that's true actually, because Leia didn't need a spacesuit.
I'm Mary Poppins, Joe.
That's very true.
Everyone. And there's two sides to the Force. The dark side, which is selfishness, and the light side, which is compassion.
George said in the Star Wars archives with Paul Duncan, he said, it's like learning karate. Everyone can learn karate. It just depends on skill, how much you practice, how much you train.
You can learn the forms. You can learn the lightsaber forms and all of that sort of thing, but you're not going to have, like, the reason why a Jedi can deflect a blaster bolt with their lightsaber is because it's a reflex thing, right? Like, you sort of almost detect where the blast is going to be before it gets there.
Yeah, your body's in tune with the Force, and they're able to move at greater speeds and everything, and more importantly, greater accuracy.
Correct.
You could deflect a thing without the use of the Force, but you won't be able to do it every single time.
And you're not going to necessarily be able to deflect it back to its origin as well. Like like you can learn the lightsaber forms as a non-Force user. Yeah, you could learn the forms, but they're not really going to be any good to you.
Well, you can't make a cup goal. You can put your hand out to Force choke someone, but if you don't have the Force training sensitive, you're never going to choke anyone.
You just start going like this, and the person's like, "What are you doing?
What are you doing?" Yeah. That's like what karate is. I've learnt the moves, therefore I should be able to do the rest of it.
Everyone has superpowers. That's right. That's right. And he's trying to justify it for everybody.
And of course, talent. Anakin, for example, extremely talented, and he trained not as much as, let's say, Obi-Wan Kenobi, but he was on par with Obi-Wan, if anything, more powerful.
No,
Nick Gillard came up with power
that doesn't that goes directly against your point. You're saying that the only way to get better is to train, essentially. Everyone can do it if they just train.
Yeah. Everyone can be a level 10 if you just train and concentrate hard enough.
But you just and his example he uses Anakin. Well, he didn't train as much, but he's more powerful.
But I also want to make the point that Sabine trained with Kanan. In Rebels, Sabine trained with Kanan. If there was going to be any unleash of any Force abilities, it would have come out then, surely.
Especially when he blew himself up. You know, if they're looking for an extreme emotional trigger or anything like that, that would have happened. When Ezra went, that would have happened then. But no. Because you know why? Because they were both men and they had terrible teachers.
Yeah. That's great. Patrick T for 2 says Force sensitivity is a participation trophy. That's right. It actually is now. As long as you can concentrate hard enough, you get your participation
Once Anakin went to the dark
trophy.
side, he jumped a level and passed, and he jumped up to level 9. Is literally just verbatim what George has said years and years and years ago.
Incorrect. Verbatim is that you didn't quote him verbatim. You quoted him to make it sound like what you wanted it to be.
It's the worst kind of fan that does it. They try and go with the guise of being honest and blatantly go out there and lie. And then when you correct it, get attacked for it.
But this is the thing. This is the thing about Star Wars theory that actually annoys me the most. More than fucking, well, okay, maybe not more than Doomcock and his fucked up rumors, but more than most is because he knows his stuff. He knows that this shouldn't be a thing, but because Dave Filoni's done it and because he's got to ride the fence, he's got to sit on the fence, right? So that he doesn't eliminate half of his audience on his channel or whatever the case may be. He's got to basically just come out with some justification for it. George said it. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Never did he ever say that everybody is Force sensitive. Lies.
But I know a lot of people are going to have a big problem with it, but it's...
Why do you know that a lot of people are going to have a big problem with it? Is it because you know that there's a big problem with it?
If it's sort of thing, it's like he should be like, well, people shouldn't have an issue with it, and they're not going to now because I've literally just proven it to them. But he didn't do that. He knows that, like, dude, even the way that he's talking and everything, I don't believe him. He's coming across so disingenuous. I truly don't believe he believes any of the words that he's saying.
Literally what's been in Star Wars since the original trilogy.
Incorrect. It's lies. It's lies. It's justification, and it's headcanon. And headcanon isn't a thing. Canon that's formed by the creators, by the people making it, is what's supposed to be the thing. And this is why I always have a problem with things like the tracking fobs, things like the hyperspace travel, because the creators are the ones that should be explaining these things. They should be the ones that actually, give you some travel time in hyperspace, make you have to stop somewhere for a pit stop because you've been sitting in your cockpit for fucking 3 days, pissing in your seat and shitting in your seat. Like, then the Disney Star Wars is so far removed from what Star Wars actually is and how deep and meaningful the stories can be, how deep and meaningful the lore is, that it's a ghost of itself.
It's a shell.
The shell of itself.
It's Star Wars in name only. But don't worry, Zack Snyder's coming out. He's going to fix it.
100%. Theory needs to take off those rose-tinted glasses and realize Dave Filoni is not the savior of Star Wars. 100% agree. 100% agree. And he's not. It's so very clear that he's doing just as much damage to the lore and continuity of Star Wars, not only in George's Star Wars, but even in their own canon, right? That he is just as bad as Kathleen Kennedy, as far as I'm concerned.
No, see, I think he's worse because he knows the materials. He studied it. He's a fan of the material, and he's the one that's actively going out there. It's worse than what Kathleen Kennedy's just a bang counter.
Yeah,
like she doesn't know anything. He knows exactly what to do to piss people off, and he does. And I can't imagine being a creator of a series and going, well, I'm going to do this because I know people are going to be upset about it. I'm going to upset this 0.02% of the fan base just as a gotcha.
Yep. Did somebody gift subs? Did you see anything?
No, I'm
Because I
looking
can't
now.
see it there now.
I can't see anything now. I'm looking at the.
I hate how StreamYard, like, it's showing the member chats now, and it shows when a new member becomes a member, like here, this one here, but it doesn't show fucking gift memberships, which is really annoying.
No, I'm on live chat. So the last thing was from Patrick T did a super chat.
Tons of gift subs. Who did it? If somebody gifted subs, please just write in the chat it was me. And
Yeah,
how many you gifted?
Because we're not seeing any of it here.
I'm not seeing any of it. So thank you if you did. I appreciate it. Gift subs, gift memberships. Same shit. You know what I mean. All right, Patrick T for another 5 says, if they made a storyline that DV and LS, who are they? Gave away their force sensitivity to the universe, it could make BS sense.
So Luke Skywalker is LS, is it?
Oh, Darth
Vader.
Yeah. So if they made a storyline that Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker gave away their force sensitivity in the universe, it could make BS sense. Well, yeah. The whole thing about like Luke cutting himself off from the Force and all of that stuff, that's bullshit too. That's not how the Force works. You can't just stop feeling the Force just because you choose to. Huh.
Oh no, he just stopped concentrating, Rhino. That's all it is. He stopped concentrating. How can you cut yourself off from the Force and then be able to Force project yourself halfway across the universe?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It's fucking weird.
It's weird.
What's this? Crazy Mad, fair enough. I'm just explaining probably why Rhino covers. Oh, so sorry, you're having a conversation. That's all right. All right. Let me get rid of those 2 tabs. I don't really know if there's really much in this. I just wanted to share this because there's still people out there that believe that the sequel trilogy is going to be retconned and all of that stuff. And this is a poster of the official timeline highlighting basically everything that they've done. So I know it's really hard to see and I can't really blow it up. You've got the High Republic in there. And of course, the Rise of the First Order is all in there. And all of this stuff takes place in between. You have the Phantom Menace, Tales of the Jedi, Attack of the Clones, Clone Wars, and Revenge of the Sith. And then you've got Bad Batch. Fuck, I can't even see what that is. Solo, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Don't know what that is. Andor, Rebels. What's that? It says Vader. Anyway, it's so small. I can't see it.
Is that the Vader series that they're doing?
Maybe. Hold on, let's get a bit bigger here.
So that's the timeline that they're doing it in. So it's going to be just after Kenobi then?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that's going to be their Kenobi. Instead of doing Kenobi season 2, they're going to do a Vader thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see a retcon on the horizon. Sorry, to Doomcock's wife out there.
That was so weird. Mike Zero was convincing me that it was going to happen.
All right. So we've got a couple of Bounding into Comics videos that I kind of want to watch. Obviously, they did articles on them, but I thought we could just sit there and watch the videos. Before we do, though, and then I've got a little bit of a Dave Filoni clip, and then we're also going to watch Grizzy's videos. We've actually got 3 of Grizzy's videos to watch, which is crazy.
Yeah, Grizzy killed it this week, man.
Yeah, he did. Man, his Sabine getting stabbed one, the reactions to that has 7,300 views, which is incredible.
Good
Well
on
done,
him.
Grizzy. Okay. Let me just bring this up because I do feel like these SEALs out there, some of them are starting to notice some of the problems. So this is the thing. There's a lot of people out there that say, give the sequel trilogy some time and it will be just as beloved as the OT and the prequels, right? And I completely disagree with that. I think it's going to go the opposite way because the rewatchability and the more you watch these shows and these things that Disney keep coming out with, the more problems you start to notice. And if you don't, well, then you're just choosing to turn your brain off.
Yeah. But here's the thing: like the thing with the prequel trilogy, the prequel trilogy are bad Star Wars films, but at least they're Star Wars films.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
Arboru, are you saying it was you that dropped gift subs? And I see you said 20, but it was meant to be you meant to say 10. Is that right? Thank you, dude. If you did, and welcome to all the new members that are out there that just got a membership. I can't find it, so thank you.
Was it earlier on, Arboru, or just recently?
It must have been earlier on because it's disappeared off the thing, so I can't even see it. But Arboru, you're a fucking legend. You are a fucking legend. Okay, so we got this tweet out here. Now, unfortunately, the person doesn't have pronouns in their bio, but I'm pretty sure I have seen this person post before and it's been like positive Disney seal kind of alert kind of shit. Ahsoka thread. This is definitely going to be an unpopular opinion after seeing people highly inflated ratings again. Okay. But I believe the direction that Disney and Filoni are taking Star Wars currently with Ahsoka is so damaging towards the magic of the Star Wars universe. I think it's very interesting that this person is saying that, and 100%. You know, one thing that takes away from the magic of what Star Wars actually is the way that they're training Jedi now. You don't have to necessarily show that you've got Force sensitivity or anything like that. But we will tell you that if you train hard enough, right, if you concentrate hard enough, you can be a Jedi. You can wield the Force. You know, even in this episode when Jason Syndulla runs up to his mom and goes, I heard that Sabine's going to be a Jedi. It's like, I want to be a Jedi, he says. It's like, yeah. That's not how the Force works. It shouldn't be how the Force works, and that's pretty stupid. That they're even putting this out there the way that they're doing it. Really is. So again, I just think it's interesting that there are now some people that were obviously just sitting there seal clapping that, you know, they're starting to see some of the holes. Some of the plot holes, some of the story holes, all of that sort of thing.
The holes are big enough; they should be able to see them.
Yeah, Jason's father is a Jedi, 100%, and I wouldn't have a problem if Jason was actually being trained, showed some Force sensitivity. I wouldn't have a problem with that at all. He's probably the one that should be being trained by Ahsoka, or at least by Luke. Where is Luke?
Yeah, I was going to say Luke's a thing, isn't he? Apparently.
Where is Luke? The fuck? This is what I mean, though, about that.
Well,
Like,
okay,
I know we've talked about like these characters crossing paths with constantly the same people, and it making the universe really small. But now they're making it even smaller because characters that should probably be there aren't even there. What were you going to say, Grant?
Well, because he was a Jedi, he's not supposed to be able to do that. So maybe is Jace's lineage kept a secret? I know it's not from like the audience and the the small
I
group
don't
of
know.
people, but I don't.
I think that if Hera is actually trying to keep Jason a secret in regards to his Force sensitivity, which I don't know how, because obviously Mon Mothma knows who Kanan Jarrus is, and obviously knows that Kanan is his son.
Why would she know that though?
Because she knows she knows that Hera and him were basically together. She knows that.
I didn't realize she knew.
It's more so from Rebels, but especially in that scene that they're showing there, like you see when Hera's getting all upset and everything, and you see the way that Mon Mothma looks at her, she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, I just didn't. I don't remember. I mean, you said you know the material better than I do, but I had no idea that she would be aware of their relationship.
She would.
Okay.
She would, especially after Jason was born. She would definitely know. More so than if she was just suspecting. But I can't now remember what I was going to say. I've lost my train of thought. Anyway,
about Jace being trained, it would make sense. Where's Luke?
It would make sense, yes. But sorry, what I was going to say is if Hera is trying to hide Jason's Force sensitivity, well, then that's pretty like I'll say disloyal to Kanan. You know, I don't see why. Like her character from the animated show wouldn't be hiding Jason if she is hiding Jason, and that's just again a suspicion from my, speculation from my side that could be what's happened. But
Kanan hasn't been brought up at all, has he?
No. Again, it was obviously implied in that scene with the senators where she does get upset. That she lost her family. Yeah. But yeah. Patrick T for another 5. Dude, this show, this Casual Rage is sponsored by Patrick T. Thank you, Patrick. For 5 says And Arboru, yes, absolutely. I saw Star Wars in theaters in 77. Everything past Empire is objectively shit. Well, no, I disagree with that.
Yeah, because Rhino's a big Andor fan. I don't know if you've heard him talk about it.
You can have your opinion on that, but I disagree with that. I think Return of the Jedi is still really good. I know that there are a couple of issues with it. Nowhere near as many issues in something like Return of the Jedi as there is in some of the prequel stuff. But that throne room scene in Return of the Jedi, when Luke goes back to Dagobah in Return of the Jedi, there's some really, really good stuff in there. Really good stuff in there. The downfall for Return of the Jedi is really the Ewoks, isn't it? That's what turns a lot of people off that. And how they just had shit set up ready to take on the Empire. But the prequels as well. I like the prequels. I know that there are people out there that don't and still think that they're really bad. But the one thing with the prequels for me is that it still tells a good connected story. There are a couple of dialogue issues, I guess, and a couple of things where there are a couple of continuity problems. Probably one of the main ones that you notice is R2 being able to fly or use the rockets on the sides.
But he got his memory wiped, so he didn't know he could do that.
No, he didn't. C-3PO was the only one that got his memory wiped.
I mean, like for me, Star Wars, I never got the original Star Wars in the theaters. So when the prequel trilogy came out, I went and saw all 3 of them when they came out, like straight away. Like So, like, even though I know they are objectively not fantastic films, they still hold a special place in my heart with them. So,
What? Star Wars Siri just posted a video with the title Balin and Shin are Loth Wolves.
yeah, doesn't surprise me. He's really living up to that theory name.
Oh my god. Okay. All right, dude. All right. He's gone off the rails.
Oh wait, you get it? That makes sense because they've got grey hair. Like
Yeah.
the wolves were white. There we go. Well, that's what it was. Merrick, wasn't it? That's what they were called.
Who?
The wolves. So was it Merrick?
No, I don't think it was Merrick.
It was.
You're thinking of Galen Merrick from Starkiller. That's why there's that theory out there that it is Starkiller.
No,
Fucking
they would have been
wolves.
wolves and whales.
Ah, man. Do it. Fucking do it, Filoni. Make them the wolves.
And also
Make
make Shin the third sister while you're at it as well.
Make them the wolves. All right. I'm just going to share this with you really quickly because I went back. I was actually looking for the clip of Dave Filoni saying that George Lucas wanted Ahsoka dead. I couldn't find it. But I came across this and I put it at the end of my review. But this is Dave Filoni from 7 years ago. He's talking about the Rebels series, but he's talking about Thrawn and he's talking about bringing stuff in from the EU and stuff like that. And I just thought it was really interesting in regards to what he said. We've got a couple of minutes here.
I've always leaned towards if we're going to create something, we should check and see if it existed already to the fans, because it has way more value if we bring that in. And it's like, why would I just replace it with something new? So if we're going to do an admiral, if we're going to do a big military leader, yeah, I could create a new guy, sure. But what about Thrawn? Thrawn is great. Thrawn is a character we all know. Thrawn has a lot of credibility. So then you ask yourself, is it right to use him? And can we use him in a way that's similar to the books?
Is it right to use him and can we use him in a way that's similar to the books? It's interesting that you say that when you've completely changed the character and you've completely changed the story. I wonder what else he has to say about that.
Or are we using him and it's going to go completely into left field? And there have been times when we wanted to use things from the EU and I was like, yeah, but we can't use it that way. So why? I don't want to use it and change it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't want to use it and make it something completely different. That's rude.
Oh, that's rude, is it?
What?
That's rude, you say?
That's the dumbest take. I mean, yeah, he's 100% right. To do it would be rude, but dude, that's all you've done.
That's exactly right. So what a rude piece of shit you are, Dave Filoni, for taking stuff from the EU, putting it into your shitty canon and your shitty stories and completely changing it from what it was and being a rude piece of shit. That's exactly what you've done, Dave. Exactly what you've done. Fucking rude. So yeah, I saw that and I thought, interesting. I wonder what's changed in the last 7 years. All right. Let's see what we've got here. Patrick T for another 10. George Lucas used Star Wars to make Lucasfilm. He's an amazing story writer, but a terrible director, editor. Yep, I agree with that. His interests are tech nerd filmmaker.
Yeah, dude, I mean, he
has no skill.
Yeah, dude, he's responsible for like so many ridiculously cool innovations. The idea of a Steadicam, you know, being able to take a big heavy camera on the run, that was all done because Lucas wanted a shot and worked with was it International Light and Magic to be able to create a rig to do that. Like he's definitely a visionary when it comes to it. I agree about the director sort of thing. He needs to get a really good, solid director in there. I don't know, someone like, I don't know, maybe Michael Mann or someone who hasn't done a bad film, you know, and just lay it out for him exactly what he needs.
Yeah.
But instead, he sold it for $4 billion.
Yeah. But no, I completely agree. Filoni has no skills. And yeah, you're right. George, he wasn't the best at, like, he should have definitely got some help on the prequels, that's for sure. I think we can all agree on that. But he definitely told the story that he wanted to tell, and it was definitely still canonical with what we'd had prior, or what comes after, essentially. At least enough.
At least when he went back in thing, he explained things. He didn't go back to retcon.
But also, too, I've said this before, George Lucas was able to make Star Wars for normies, for people that just want to see this flashy shit on the screen and everything, but he kept lore, continuity, and canon pretty well in check. You know, I will say he did have his downfalls somewhere along the lines, but more often than not, there weren't any major destructive moments of lore, canon, or continuity that he put into play.
Midi-chlorians would be probably the one exception.
Yeah. Are video games canon, Force Unleashed? I don't think they were. Actually, OG Star Wars would probably be the one to answer that question. I don't think that they were, but
even if they were, they aren't now.
But even if they were, they would have been able to fit.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So maybe they weren't canon, but even if they were canon, it would have worked. It could have been fine. Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's we might not watch all of this because this video is 15 minutes long. And I want to get to Seal of the Week and watch some of Grizzy's videos. So bounding into comics. Let's just watch a little bit of this.
Take a Lucasfilm very long
I might just speed it up, actually.
to start contradicting their own series with Ahsoka. We are just 3 episodes in, and they're already ignoring the previous episodes in episode 3 in order for them to, quote unquote, create danger for Ahsoka, Sabine Wren, and this robot Hugh Wang in episode 3. Not only are they ignoring previous episodes, but this episode features one of the dumbest space battles imaginable. Whoever came up with this should be immediately fired, but we know that won't happen. They'll probably get promoted at Lucasfilm because that's how people. That's what happens. You fail and you get promoted over there at the Walt Disney Company.
Yeah, you fail upwards.
Let's get into this here. I'm going to kind of do a brief breakdown, I guess, of the episode. It's really short, so it shouldn't take too long. So there's a brief training sequence involving Sabine Wren and Ahsoka Tano. The episode transitions to Hera Syndulla meeting with Chancellor Mon Mothma and a number of senators from the New Republic. The point of the meeting is for Syndulla to request a military intervention into the Denab system, where it was revealed in the second episode. That's where Morgan Elsbeth had been transporting various goods from Corellia. So basically, she was running this operation on Corellia when the Empire was in control. She was still able to manage the operation there, and was working on creating this giant hyperspace ring in the Denab system so they could go and find Thrawn, who is.
And this is the other thing too. I just want to point this out again, that these senators should know this. They should. They've got the reports of what happened at the shipyard, all of that sort of thing. They should know this, so they should be right behind them, stopping whatever's going on for a massive hyperdrive system that they didn't order.
It just shows how inept they are. They should have just let the Empire just stick to it. At least shit got ran.
So stupid.
It's apparently in some other galaxy, and they're going to follow like a hyperspace lane to get there. And so she's been basically siphoning off parts from this shipyard in Corellia to build her giant hyperspace ring. When Syndulla is asked to give her report basically to this meeting of the senators and this chancellor, she does not provide any information from the events of the previous episode. So she does not inform the senators about a super Star Destroyer hyperdrive being taken from the docks of Corellia. She does not report that Ahsoka Tano was confronted by 2 lightsaber-wielding Force users. For all intents and purposes, we can call them Dark Jedi, because I don't think they're really Sith yet.
But wouldn't they have received a report? Like, they arrested the people. The New Republic arrested the Imperials that were still working at the shipping yard. So surely the highest levels of government
in the New Republic should know it. Whether or not Hera's actually reporting it to them or not, they should know, right?
Well, she wouldn't be the only one that's reporting any information.
True.
Surely. Like, and
I mean,
also,
at the end of episode 2, she's there on the shipping yard talking to some New Republic police officer sort of thing.
Yeah.
Surely that she shouldn't, like, I'll say to John here, like, Hera didn't need to walk into that conference and basically explain all of, like, maybe she should have when they were saying, no, we don't want to. Like, you saw the report. This is what they should have done. You saw the report. Ahsoka was fighting some lightsaber wielding fucking dark Jedi or Sith. And fucking, they've taken a hyperdrive that's bigger than any hyperdrive that we've ever built to an unknown location, but we happen to get a tracking beacon on it and we know where it is. Wouldn't you want to investigate that?
She should have said we've got a tracking fob. They would have believed her then.
Yeah. Tracking fob straight to the hyperdrive.
Yeah, unclear what they practice or who they really are, but they seem to be Dark Jedi. And then that literally stopped her from trying to prevent the hyperdrive being taken off planet. On top of this, she does not report Morgan Elsbeth's connections with Corellia and how she had been using her previous Imperial company to transport numerous high-end pieces of equipment off the planet. She also doesn't reveal to them that she had a tracker put on the transport that takes them to the Denab system where all of this is going. So she doesn't actually share any of the dots and she doesn't connect them in the meeting whatsoever. It's absolutely insufferable.
That's very true. And especially due to the fact that they declined her request straight off the bat, she should have reiterated those things. But she doesn't.
There's going to be a line that's going to come out towards the end when the Asian guy's revealed to be a bad guy. She said, that was the reason I didn't say anything, because I knew I couldn't trust them. Just to make her the hero.
I just want to... as far as I heard, TFU book was canon.
The Force Unleash.
EU, not the games. I think George didn't consider The Force Unleashed as a whole canon. Don't quote me on that, though.
Yeah, because I think you can kill the Emperor in that. So it technically wouldn't be.
Yeah, you can have different endings. Yeah. This statement, though, is true. The EU was canon. And the biggest piece of evidence that I think that we've got that the EU was canon is the fact that they decanonized it.
But you can't decanonize something that wasn't canon.
Exactly. So it's canon. It always was canon. I don't think George was sitting there going, yes, this massive universe that I've created, I'm going to get these people to come in and write books that aren't attached to it.
It's like you have all of these things that you should be reporting that would be like, okay, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Let's send this task force because, hey, there is clearly some kind of Imperial remnant doing something out here. We want to crush it before it can grow and become big.
So that's basically the point that I think he's making in this video, is that they completely forgot the previous episode. Hera doesn't actually explain anything. I'm not going to go through any more of this one. But there is this one.
We've got a new rumor about Kathleen Kennedy exiting Lucasfilm. And not only do we have a rumor that she will be exiting the studio, but also when it might happen. Let's get into this here. This rumor comes from Scooper WDW Pro. And
I almost want to just stop right there.
Because of WDW Pro?
Yeah.
Or just because it's the same thing over and over again?
No, because of WDW Pro.
Yeah.
Fucking full of shit. Full of shit. These were the same WDW Pro that reported that Jon Favreau is fucking gone. Leaving Lucasfilm.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have we read this article? We read it every 3 months from a different source.
Doomcock Light. Yeah, that's fucking right. No, let's just see what. Let's watch it. Let's listen to a little bit of this.
And kind of piggybacks off his previously reported scoop at the end of July, in which he said, "From the source that I have regarding Lucasfilm, the situation over there, I am told that Kathleen Kennedy will not be seeking a renewal or extension of her contract, which ends in 2024." WGW Pro added said, "Now I am told, although I cannot verify this independently, I am told that Kathleen Kennedy has negotiations still in place for the third week of August. That's this August, and her contract, as it is constituted, will run out late next year." In that alleged scoop from July, he also detailed that Kennedy might be stepping down as Lucasfilm president, but she still wanted to be part of Lucasfilm and Star Wars storytelling moving forward. He explained, "I am told that one of the things that she wants is she wants EPs and she wants executive producer credits on at least 2 theatrical releases going forward. And she wants actual creative consultation rights. She wants to be on set for 2 future theatrical releases, even after she potentially exits Lucasfilm."
But hang on a second. Wasn't I told? Weren't we all told that she's got no creative control? She's got no power. She's got nothing. She's not even allowed on set.
So how can you be allowed on set and still working for them even after you left? Therefore, you haven't left if you're still working for them.
But she wants to continue to be, on set. She wants her name in the marquee. She wants to go to the premieres and the dining and all of that. She's going to try and stick around, even if she's transitioned out of her role. So we got a new scoop that I think kind of broke earlier this week. And WDW Pro said, "For the first time ever in the last few months, I'm hearing that Kathleen Kennedy will be departing. Now we have some dates that we believe are likely to be."
But he even said that he heard it from one source and it's unverified. So it's not a scoop. You got to get verification from at least 2 independent sources to be able to run with the story. It's basic journalism.
But not only that, if Kathleen Kennedy, look, there's a very good chance that at the end of her contract she does step down. Obviously her contract is up, right?
Well, she's like 80 years old. Makes sense.
So that could happen. I'm not saying that it couldn't happen, but my point is why are we still harping on Kathleen Kennedy leaving? As far as I'm concerned, Dave Filoni needs to leave. Pablo Hidalgo needs to leave. They need a massive clean out of Lucasfilm. They need to recast everybody in Lucasfilm and scrap everyone that they had. Because the environment that Kathleen Kennedy has turned Lucasfilm into isn't the environment that we want making Star Wars moving forward. What difference is it going to make? Is it going to stop Filoni doing fucking his garbage storytelling? What we're seeing with Ahsoka right now? Is it going to stop his movie from happening? Is it going to stop the contract or whatever they've got with Daisy Ridley to do a movie?
I thought she was doing 3.
Oh, we've only got one announcement for one. With this activist director over here? No. Nothing is going to change even if Kathleen Kennedy's gone. Kathleen Kennedy needed to go. Kathleen Kennedy should never have been put in the position that she was put in. But being that she was, Kathleen Kennedy, after the failure and the absolute destruction of Star Wars from the sequel trilogy, not even the sequel trilogy, after The Last Jedi, why did she get a renewal?
I don't know. I'll be honest. When I heard that she was going to be taking over and doing everything, I was quite happy. I thought she was going to do a good enough job. She had the credentials, she had the backing from all the big names to do it. And I was just like, okay, so if they're all putting their reputation line saying she's the one for it, I'll believe them. But yeah, you're right. Why after all the failure did she? Because they were able to change the money around somewhere to make it out to be a big success.
And what? Even after she leaves, she wants producer credits and shit on movies and.
You can't go on set and work for a company after you've left the company. You're still working for them then. That's not how it works. So, Rhino, I don't want to do any more stuff for the Full Aussie anymore. But I want to be put on there like that. I want to get paid every week. Yeah. I want all the vacation. Yeah, that's what I want. But I'm not going to work. But I'm still going to turn up every week.
Like pathetic. For retirement. Later in the video, he revealed the first potential time frame where Kennedy could exit Lucasfilm. He said one potential time frame that we're looking at is the mid to late October of this year. We're being told it has the potentiality for her to make an announcement. It would be announced internally to Lucasfilm, is what we're told. We're not.
So am I allowed to, when October comes and she's not gone,
Am I allowed to tweet out WDW Pro was wrong? Am I allowed to do that? Or are you Spurgs out there going to say you didn't take it with a grain of salt? You can't independently verify this shit.
Saying she would retire in October. We think she'll serve out her contract probably, but that contract ends next year in Q3. As for the second date, he said the second date that we're hearing that it could be pushed back to and may have already been pushed back to. We just don't know which would be, we just don't know which would be the very end of this year. We're talking about around the holidays, and that would be potentially to kind of quell the celebration of people like you and me. And he's talking to another YouTuber, X-Wing, who would say, well, it's about time, but at the same time, it could be early enough that they could get her into these award ceremonies, even if they're delayed a little bit due to the strike. So it's still award season, but also they get to bury the bad news with the holidays, which is pretty common. Finally, for the third date, he revealed there is the scenario that they wait all the way until her contract is getting ready to end in October of next year. They finish up the Acolyte series, and then they make the announcement, and she gets into the next year's, not this year, but the next year's awards circuit. As for why he believes this one is most plausible, he said it's the Hollywood strike. The longer the Hollywood strike goes on, the less likely it is that Kathleen Kennedy has to make any kind of announcement because there's nothing happening. And why would Disney then want to go and try to make negotiations with somebody who may be part of SAG-AFTRA, for example, to come take the place of Kathleen Kennedy? Why are they going to want to do those kind of negotiations and get those kind of contracts set up when they don't know when they'll be able to produce again? And therefore, they could be sending somebody lots of money to sit. They're already paying Kathleen Kennedy to sit. So he then said, this is why there are 3 possible dates. So that's why there's uncertainty, because there's uncertainty when this Hollywood strike wraps up. So I'll believe it when I see it again.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
So it's either going to happen. It's either going to happen now, a little bit later, next year, or not.
Or not.
That's what I got out of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Take it with a grain of salt. Fucking goddamn.
Need a palate cleanser.
Yeah. It's too bad I don't have one. Okay, so I got too many seals. Too many seals. So we need to do a little mini poll in the chat. So I need you guys to decide who gets a nomination. So Cody's saying, let me blow this up a little bit. Go to 150. All I'm saying is that there's still 6 more episodes to see this happen. LOL. So he wants to see helicopter lightsabers. I mean, they should have really done it in Obi-Wan Kenobi when Reva was, instead of doing her parkour across the rooftops, she should have just used her helicopter lightsaber. So there's that one, and there's this one. Who gets the nominee? Sabine and Shin are girlfriends. Is this a pronoun person? Yes, of course it is. The 30-year-old she, her. Retweet to score...
To scare a lesbophobe.
To scare a lesbophobe. So we'll say this is 1 and this is 2 in the chat. 1 and 2. Who gets the nominee, chat? Who gets the nominee? Oh, 2. Oh, Mr. Grant Gregory. 2. All of them. That's funny.
Yeah, so far, all I've seen is 2s.
Yep, 2 gets it. So we're getting rid of 1. Now you need to decide between this one and this one. Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati giving off those Bane and Darth Xana vibes. So we'll say now, we'll start again.
Shouldn't it compete with something else?
What do you mean?
Well, that one didn't have to compete with anything yet. The first one had to compete with something to get to the same spot.
No, well, just let it be what it is.
Okay.
Okay, so after this. So I've written after this in the chat. So 1 for the Sabine and Shin girlfriend, and 2 for their basically giving off the Bane Darth Xana vibes. 1 and 2. So 1. 1. Looks like it's going to be 1.
We have 13 for the 15, 17, 20.
Yeah, all right, good. All right, so we get rid of that one. All right, good. We know what we know what we got. We got our 4 now. Let's do this.
Among the Jedi.
All right, seal of the week. Nominee number 1 is Star Wars Holocron with The Future of Star Wars is Bright. Which project are you most excited for? Obviously, when was this from? August 21. So this was just before Ahsoka dropped, I think.
Yeah, the day of.
Yeah, okay. So Ahsoka, the Rey movie.
Ray.
Mando, I don't know why. Like, have we even received an announcement of Mando season 3? And the Rian Johnson trilogy.
Wait a minute. Is Star Wars Holocron Rian Johnson?
Oh, which project are you most excited for? Fuck. Oh, what do I say to that? But the fact that he thinks that the future of Star Wars is bright with all of this garbage going on. Fucking hell. Fucking hell. Yeah, Seal clapped his way through that one, didn't he? All right, so that's nominee number 1. Nominee number 2 is Cody with Ahsoka spoiler. I swear I can't even write. I swear I can't even right now. Little Jason Syndulla, eager to hit the ground running. Imagine Jason being trained by Luke.
He's too old.
Yeah, he is too old. And this comes from our 28-year-old, him, himself, Cody. So that's nominee number 2. Nominee number 3, Star Wars Theory gets another nomination this week. Ahsoka Episode 3 is the most George Lucas Star Wars we've had since Disney bought Star Wars. If you don't understand why, watch my breakdown, which is basically the snippet that we got from that other clip that we watched earlier. But essentially, the explanation of the Force and how it resides in everyone is something George has said said off screen for decades. Also, Ahsoka in space was in the Clone Wars twice and once in Rebels. Also, Shin Baddie. Shin Baddie, get it? Okay, the fact that they did the in space thing with Ahsoka in Clone Wars twice and in Rebels once doesn't mean that it's good.
No, and also it doesn't mean that it's a George Lucas episode. George Lucas never did that.
That's right, but George did say that the Force, flows through everyone and it's in everyone. But
that's not what he said on his video.
That's right. He's conflating it by saying that George said that everybody was Force sensitive. He's lying. But it's kind of like with the whole thing about this, like also the Ahsoka in space thing and the clones happening twice in the Clone Wars and once in Rebels. It's kind of like saying, well, it's fine that Sabine gets stabbed with a lightsaber because Maul was able to survive being bisected. Like, no, that's because I was never okay with that anyway. So it's still bad. Bad is just bad. And no matter what you say, no matter how you try and justify it, this is literally a cope
He has been coping for days now because all of his tweets are all about justifying Dave Filoni's shitty writing and shitty storytelling and shitty Star Wars because he literally has a Filoni boner. It would not surprise me if when he goes to bed at night, every single night, he rub ones out to the poster of Dave that he's got on his ceiling. Would not surprise me in the slightest. And then, of course, sorry, go on.
Shit, sorry, lesbians. Sorry, no, that last one just frightened me.
Yeah, what were you going to say?
Yeah. No, I said, how do you know he's got a poster above his bed?
I don't. I'm speculating.
Headcanon.
Yeah, headcanon. I'm allowed to have my headcanon.
Yeah.
And then nominee
lesbian.
number 4, of course, was the one that you all voted in, is Sabine and Shin are girlfriends. Retweet to scare a lesphobe. There you go, guys. There are your 4 nominees. Let me put the poll in the chat. Seal of the week. 1, 2. Oh, I nearly put it out. 3, 4. There. Poll is in the chat, guys. So there are your nominees. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. All right. While you guys are getting your votes in, voting on that, we're going to go over to Grizzy. Now, if you're not subscribed to Grizzy, I'm going to chuck his link to his channel in the chat. Go and give this dude a sub. He does some great work. It's not just all Star Wars based. Obviously, when Star Wars is relevant, he'll definitely do those. But he's done Marvel. He's done a whole heap of shit. DC, fucking Cruella, Disney stuff. Yeah, he's done a heap of stuff. All right, let me share this. All right, so last week we did get to watch episode 1. The Seals react to episode 1. We've got episode 2 to watch. We've got Sabine stabbing to watch. And we've got episode 3 to watch. And I want to watch all 3 of these because I want to catch up. So next week we can just do episode 4. And then if he does another little one like this so that we're not so far behind constantly. All right.
What, do you got a plane to catch or something?
Yeah, we do. I do. Fucking a week away from Mozicon.
Dude, I know. How crazy is it?
I know. All right, you guys ready? Let's watch the Seals clap.
I need more episodes. That's not enough for me. I need more.
I got a song for you too, bitch. It's called Daughter Don't Sing.
You don't understand.
So, any criticism here, guys?
Oh, yeah.
I unlocked it.
Quebec, go ahead. Look at that T21B over there.
Oh. Wow, one of them stayed behind.
Yeah, which is stupid. You didn't think that that's stupid? That one of them stayed behind?
The poor guy was abandoned by his people and then murdered.
54 people here. Yes, get your votes in, guys.
How convenient.
What if Hera shows up with Chopper? My favorite droid in the whole universe.
Of course it is.
A baby boy.
I'm sure you will finger yourself until you lose an arm.
That is so cool. Yes.
Dude, look, there's the green glow.
Oh my god. 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 Oh my god.
Oh my god, shut
You got a
up.
lot of problems, don't you?
While Grand Admiral Thrawn is banished.
Pathway to Meridian.
Some call it that.
Granted, Knights of the Old Republic was all about maps to the Starforge, so it's been around for a while.
You are. This is the justification. It's like everything is justifiable because either it's ripped off from the EU, so you've seen it before, or it's so convoluted, and the way that they actually spin this shit so that they can actually enjoy it is just beyond me.
Are not going to use Knights of the Old Republic to defend Disney Star Wars.
No.
The star maps in KOTOR were thoroughly explained.
Yeah.
I should know. I beat the game probably 20 times. The origin of the star maps, who created them, how they function, and what their purpose is all thoroughly explained in KOTOR. In Disney Star Wars, it's the map exists, we need it to tell our story, don't ask questions, moving on.
Yeah.
Ooh, let's go.
Dron really is that guy, man. Like, Dron out here playing chess while these motherfuckers playing checkers.
Jumper! Jump,
What?
Look at him!
I don't know.
Oh. Hey, you fucking bitch. Chopper!
Chopper!
Let's get to the chopper!
Let's get to the chopper!
Not like Ezra.
That much is true.
Oh shit!
Oh,
for the Empire!
See, notice how none of them are like, shouldn't you shoot first and then say for the Empire after you've maybe hit them, killed them? No one makes that distinction. None of these guys do anyway.
That was a dope shot. Oh, bro, she about to yoink this shit out.
What does that mean?
Let's go.
Let's fucking go!
Oh, bro, she about to Vader this shit.
What?
Come on, Ahsoka, Vader this shit.
Are you seriously referencing this scene from Obi-Wan
Yeah.
Kenobi as a positive example?
Come on, Ahsoka, Vader this shit.
You are one pathetic loser.
So their names don't.
Oh, let's go.
See, I'm so happy because my 3 favorite things in Star Wars are Night Sisters, Inquisitors, and clones.
Oh, that's funny. Night Sisters, Inquisitors, and clones. All right.
What?
Yes!
God, these money shots. Money shots, man. Let's go.
Let's go.
Woohoo!
Ah, this makes me so happy.
Yes, you did. He's so sassy.
You guys know that everyone thinks you're total fags, right?
Let's go.
I swear to God, if you fly with that fucking hilt,
say, bro, like
if you saber-copter into that shuttle,
I honestly thought he was going to helicopter off with it. I'm not going to lie.
I don't know whether or not they're actually wanting it or like happy to, like they would be
I don't
happy to
know.
see it or not. Like,
He seemed angry, but he was smiling.
yeah, I don't really know whether or not they'd be happy about it or not. Anyway.
strange person.
Whoa. Is that like a boomerang, like, lightsaber, though? Is it going to come back to him?
Oh my God. Have you ever watched Star Wars before? Have you ever played a Star Wars video game before? Do you not know that that is a possible thing to do? That chick is not a Star Wars fan. Never has been.
Is that lightsaber like a
Are
boomerang?
you kidding me? One of the best cutscenes from the Knights of the Old Republic game is when I'm fucking gonna blank on the names now.
Well,
when they
Steve.
take back when he throws his lightsaber to save his apprentice and it comes back to him.
Comes back, yeah. Like I
Like,
just said, I mean, look, that's how Luke got it out of the snow in the second film.
oh
Like,
my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
actually, you
Is
know what?
that a boomerang,
I'd watch all of her reviews, just based on this one line. I'd watch every single review that she has, because if she's confused about that, my God, but she's gonna not know what's happening when the Purgles turn up.
Saber, though, is it going to come back to him? Watch
Come
out.
back.
It's a boomerang.
What a bunch of dumbasses.
Boomerang.
Oh, I love this. I love space shit. Whoop,
I
whoop.
love space shit.
Yeah! He did the whoop, whoop.
Hey, Lois, if I was going to kill myself, do I slit my wrists this way or this way?
Put it on.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Oh my god, this is so gay.
This is the gay.
This is sounding really gay.
Let's go, man.
Oh, I wonder if we'll see the Mandalorian in this, and maybe even Grogu if we're lucky.
Smack that dumb bitch!
Oh, she's crying.
You people are so fucking weird.
I agree. Oh,
I'm so happy right now.
I'm bloody miserable, actually.
The show's off to a fantastic start, dude. Fantastic start.
Great 2-episode premiere, man.
Hopefully this will lead into Dave's movie, Dave Filoni's standalone movie, Heir to the Empire. I think this is going to be the precursor to that.
I know that sounds bad. Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out some of the other content live on the channel.
Yes, make sure you do go and check out some more of the content live on the channel. All right, let's watch this one. God, I don't know if I really fucking this is painful, guys. If I got to sit through it, you got to sit through it. Oh, let's hit that like button, shall we? Dead.
Great job, Disney, as usual.
Well, it was in the gut, so
I like how people you can clearly see where it is, and
What?
everyone says it's in a completely different spot.
Yeah. Look at her face.
The bashish.
Like, it's probably just a flesh wound.
Yeah, but it wasn't immediately cauterizes everything. So.
It was to the right side too.
George Lucas has already shown us how lightsabers work. When Qui-Gon punctured the blast door when he was trying to catch the Viceroy in Episode 1. Just look at the damage being done to a thick metal blast door. It's melting it completely. Human body tissue would begin to deteriorate rapidly. Bodily fluid would evaporate, and bone would turn to ash.
Mm-hmm.
This is how powerful a lightsaber blade is, according to George Lucas. And this is how powerful a lightsaber blade is, according to Disney. Now, some of you might be saying, well, Mr. Grizzy, the Sabine stab only lasted a couple of seconds. Okay. Let's take a look at Reva stabbing the Grand Inquisitor from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
Really think I let you take all the credit?
Okay, we'll call it 9 seconds.
Yeah.
And Qui-Gon took this much of a blast door out in 13 seconds. Oh, and the Grand Inquisitor survived, by the way.
Hello, third sister.
Like, I think versus the Qui-Gon stab,
Great
right?
point,
Versus
Grizzy.
the Qui-Gon Maul stab.
Right fucking there.
Yeah, right fucking there, huh? Okay, let's see it.
Oh, I think
All
it's
right,
more in the
fake
gut.
Katarn.
Yeah.
I can clearly see Qui-Gon's chest, and I see no lightsaber. So it looks to me like you're a little bit off based on what I see in this screenshot.
I think they call people like that liars.
Smash that like button if you think these guys are full of shit.
He got it through the solar plexus.
In the spine. It went through, like, when he stabbed Qui-Gon, it went through, like, main...
You're right. It was right through the spine.
main
It was through his entire
intestines.
body.
Qui-Gon Jinn died from a lightsaber stab to the torso. It's that simple. Stop trying to complicate it to make Disney Star Wars make sense, because Disney Star Wars does not make sense.
If it goes to the heart, you're dead. Goes to the head or neck, you're dead.
And also, I think dead center abdomen, you're not looking good either. But if it goes to either side of your stomach, you got a great chance.
I think Sabine got it where where Reva got it, where it was like...
This guy is figuratively and literally bending over backwards to try and make Disney Star Wars make sense.
Yeah.
She's missing a kidney.
I'm replaying it.
I think she got the kidney stab. I think
Yeah, which is fatal.
Like, she lost one of her kidneys the same way that, like, Reva now is, like, without a kidney.
You're making that up. Everything you two have said the last minute and a half, you're making up.
Oh, okay. You're right. It is an off-center stab. It misses
very
the spine
off-center.
and fully the kidney.
Very off-center.
You got stabbed through the kidney. But
This is the thing. Like, what's it doing around that area? Like, it is gone through, like, I don't know. People want to make the argument, even Starkiller, he gets stabbed by Vader, ejected out into space, and he still survives. Now, I don't know whether or not that's actually explained how he survives.
I thought it was another clone that came back, and it wasn't actually him. Like, it was him, but it wasn't him. But
yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, because you'll know. Chat always knows. But I did see somebody else out there talking about Mace Windu being stabbed in Shatterpoint, the book Shatterpoint.
But he also collapsed practically. He died right afterwards.
Yeah. But no, Mace Windu's not dead after that.
No. I said he nearly died. Like,
yeah.
It wasn't like he was like, oh, I got a bit of a sore tummy or anything.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the first Force Unleashed. I'm pretty sure it was another clone. That's what I thought. Just obviously still got all those memories and everything. I'd have to go back and have a look into that. And people are like trying to make the argument, oh, well, if you're complaining about them being stabbed and surviving these stab wounds and all this kind of thing, well, then you should be consistent in complaining about Mace Windu being stabbed and surviving and Starkiller being stabbed and surviving. But I think there's either really good explanation in regards to why and how. There's obviously, like with Sabine, for example, lifting off that, I don't know what you'd call it, a Bacta pad, and having like it's almost like just a burn mark from like a 50-cent coin or something like that.
Yeah, she dropped the cigarette lighter in the car.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Vader started cloning Starkiller until after Force Unleashed 1, but he could have started before. Not sure. Yeah, okay. I don't know. To me, Disney.
I won't quote you, but
okay,
I'll misquote you.
Let's just put it in perspective for a second. We've had multiple in Disney Star Wars, multiple lightsaber stabbings, and we're yet to see one person die from it. Now, you could argue that based on their argument here, you could argue that the one with Reva goes through the Grand Inquisitor's spine. It's pretty centered. So why isn't he dead? Reva
he was a little upset. That's why he survived.
Yeah. Reva gets stabbed twice. Once as a child, mind you, and survives. I also want to make the point that Fennec Shand gets blasted, killed, left on the desert sands of Tatooine, and then collected by Boba Fett and put in a droid fucking mod system. We've also had
at least that with that they went through and they showed the process. She puts on a band-aid and she's fine in this.
But also too, like if you want to take Obi-Wan Kenobi for example, right? When Obi-Wan is saving Leia from Reva, the Inquisitors on what's it called? Something Inquisitorus or whatever it is. It's like a baseball bat. It bounces off the armor. This is not how lightsabers work. Never has been, never will be, and never should be. And then it's like Grizzly's saying in this video, these people are using mental gymnastics and headcanon to explain it away so that they can justify in their own heads why it's good. Straight off the bat, they should be, no, this is bad. That's horrible that they've done that. But no, they try and work their way around it. G'day, Melvin. How you doing? Yes. Fake news, Kyle Katarn. Absolutely.
God damn! These two clearly do not have their Disney Star Wars All Access Pass, and I think what we're watching right now is what they think they have to do to earn it.
Pathetic.
And Disney has done this so much that even the shill fans don't buy it anymore.
I mean, we've already learned that this means nothing.
Right. You can shoot any. You can stab
I
anyone. through the-
constantly see characters getting stabbed in their stomach, and it means nothing.
No way they kill her off, man. You're not gonna sit here and tell me all these motherfuckers have survived these stabs to this.
But see, the fact that they're even saying that means that they know that she should be dead. Do you know what I mean? Like
100%, yeah.
They
But
know
because-
that this should kill her.
So dumb.
Stomachs.
No, that's bullshit. No, there's no way she's gonna die like that.
I mean, I just knew that Sabine wasn't gonna die.
To the stomach, and she's gonna die from this shit. There's no way, man. No way.
But of course, in Disney shill fashion, they go right back to praising the show.
Yep.
Great 2-episode premiere, man. I feel like this is fantastic setup for everything.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Grizzy. We got one more. We got episode 3. And then we'll get back to Seal of the Week. I hope you guys have been getting some votes in. We got 36. We've still got 56 people here watching. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back to this. So number 1 was this one here. Number 2 is this one here. Cody, he, him, himself. Number 3, Star Wars Theory gets a nomination again. And number 4. All right, let's go back. All right, Grizzy, last one. Oh, the chick that... It's like a boomerang. Is that going to come back to him?
Oh, good. I'm glad she's here.
And
She
then
makes me feel smart.
And then she starts crying.
Dave Filoni.
What? Golf clap.
Wonderful.
Golf clap. You know what that makes me think of?
She's training. I do hope that Grogu and Sabine can meet because they have so much in common, and I think that would be really cute.
What do they have in common? What do they have in common? Please explain that to me. What the hell do they have in common?
Sabine eats babies.
You stupid bitch! You filthy slut! Did you fuck with me?
It's time to fly.
It's time for me to fly.
Oh my God.
Time for me to fly.
Horrendous.
The Chancellor?
She's waiting.
Oh, Mon Mothma. Fine, Chancellor. In fact, he's on.
Mon Mothma? Mon Mothma!
Causing trouble with.
It's like, why react like this to this? Like, honestly, it's Mon Mothma. This is the Star Wars universe after the events of Return of the Jedi.
This is like the
Were you
10th
not
thing she's been in?
expecting to see Mon Mothma? Were you not expecting this? The reactions are so disingenuous. It's like, look, there's a camera on. Mon Mothma! So what? So what? Shill face. Fucking oath. My God. These people aren't real.
Chopper, no doubt. Most likely.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Forgive me, Madam Chancellor.
Shut the fuck up.
This is the other thing too. What were you not expect? It would be weird to not see Jason. I mean, we were talking about it in episode 1 and 2. Like, where's Jason?
Yeah, why isn't he
Like,
being
shouldn't
mentioned?
Hera be mothering him, be his mother, and like be? Why is it such a reaction to have a character show up? Why? Oh my God, she's crying again.
I want to be a Jedi.
Yes. Train him. He needs training. Send him to Luke.
You know what? I agree. Send him to Luke. Send
I was
him
gonna say-
to his dead.
I was just about to say that. Like, Jesus Christ.
to Luke.
Oh, just like your daddy. Look at this. Yo, I can't.
They tend the same.
Do you
His
scream
dad,
loud in the
his
bed?
dad got blinded and blew himself up.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like your dad.
Loud in the bedroom when you're getting fucked?
We both know only my big black anaconda can make her scream like that, Donald.
What the fuck?
And besides, how confident are you that her orgasms aren't as fake as her Ahsoka reactions?
That's actually a good point, Barack. Good to have
Great
you
point.
here, by the way.
Good to be here, Donald. Thanks for inviting me.
I love this. I love this so much.
I bet you do. Just keep shooting the back of the
Nice
ship.
spinning. That's a good trick.
Ooh, yes.
Nice. Oh, we're getting New Hope references. I feel it. Come on. I got one. Don't get cocky, kid.
This does feel like some classic Star Wars space battles right here.
No,
You know
it
what I
really
mean? And it
doesn't.
felt so George Lucas to me. What would you say?
Yeah.
I've kind of lost control of Star Wars, so it's going off in a different path than what I intended.
It really feels like Star Wars.
But the first 6 are very much mine and my philosophy.
I mean, I know they're going to be fine, but it's still intense.
I live for this. I live for this.
See, that's the thing. She said, I know that they're going to be fine, but it's still intense. Like, you as the viewer shouldn't really know that it's going to be fine. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what the kind of, like, they're just sitting there going, oh, I know that they're going to survive, but it's still intense. Like, I don't think that's really what they want to do. Yes, Grizzy's killing it. Absolutely.
Rock, form up with my wing and wait for my signal.
As you wish. Oh man, who was that? Come on, please tell me it's a version of Star Killer. That would be so sick.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
It would be rude, in Dave Filoni's own words. If that's Star Killer, it would be rude to do that.
I get the feeling that this bitch is going to say something stupid.
Wait, is Anakin already Darth Vader?
Darth Vader.
Dark Vader.
I've seen that porn.
She didn't.
Wait, is Anakin already Darth Vader?
Darth Vader's already.
Darth Vader?
I think he's not around anymore. Yeah, he died already.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Scan complete.
And she doesn't.
Go!
Remember, guys, a like on this video is a middle finger to fake Star Wars fans like this. So please do that, and please subscribe to the channel if you're new.
I'd appreciate it. I really would.
What? What? Oh my God! Yes.
This is so cool. This is so fucking cool.
No, it's not.
This is gonna be bad.
She opened the door and stepped outside.
This is what I'm talking about. Let's go. Oh, let's fucking go.
God damn it!
Enunciate. Awesome. Awesome.
Hell yeah.
This is what I mean about them just loving the flashy shit on the screen and all this kind of stuff, because anybody in their right mind is thinking the bad guys just need to shoot the ship, destroy the rest of the ship, you succeed, you win. Destroy the ship, Ahsoka's gone, Sabine's gone, everybody in the ship is gone, the ship is disabled, has no shields, has no weapons, has no thrust, has no anything. Shoot the ship, destroy the ship. But no,
I mean,
this is...
or for once in your life, try not to have perfect aim. You know, because you're only doing it now when it doesn't make a difference. Like,
yeah. I never want to meet any of these people, ever. Me too.
Okay.
Damn! Oh my god!
Oh, what? Fuck yes! That was amazing.
Jesus Christ, can we get just one normal person?
Yes. Lorena.
Finally, someone intelligent. That was the perfect reaction to that ridiculous scene.
Fighting in friggin'
That was.
space. I got it. Great.
She
Yes,
bypassed the
ship-
compressor.
The ship, she did, because the ship got actually hit. There was parts of the ship trickling behind the ship, and all she had to do was flick a couple of switches and screw a couple of screws.
Look at me.
At least doing that cost her a little bit. Lost her footing.
This is a genuinely exciting aerial sequence.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is the Star Wars I fucking love.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
Oh. Oh! Yo! Oh, shit!
A Purgle!
I know what that is.
Several Purgles.
That's her guy.
Little Miss Other Side of the Tracks, awkward rebel girl with the pseudo-intellectual glasses.
Oh my god!
Stop being such a dumbass.
In live action, this is amazing. This is amazing.
This is a fucking blast. I mean, how do you make a unique new type of Star Wars space chase sequence?
You're a little too heavy, buddy. Yeah! We're going down.
Yeah. And that's literally what would happen if someone dared let you two on an airplane.
Everything about this scene, the visuals, the music, the fighting in the sky, the dog fight, everything is amazing.
Closer and closer. That gave me chills a little bit for some reason, man.
Yeah,
Can you shut the fuck up?
Thanks for watching. Make sure you follow.
I'm glad we got through those three. So next week we only have to watch one because that gets painful after a little while. Grizzy, you do great work, but fuck you again.
No, I'm going to be at a pub next week. I can't do that again.
Yeah. Well, I will. I'll be doing my stream and then basically jumping on a plane to Adelaide. All right. Thanks, guys, for putting up with that. Like I had to. Well, I didn't have to, but I do like Grizzy's work. So, all right, let me bring this up. We'll finish off with the votes tallied up for Seal of the Week, and then we'll wrap this bitch up. All right, so let me end the poll. 39 votes. Thank you, guys. All right. In last place with 5% of the vote was number 2. Cody, your him isn't getting you anywhere. Is very deserving, but not quite as deserving as some of the others. In third place was number 4. I'm surprised, a little surprised. Well, I guess it's level third place. I don't know how these percentages work out, to be honest with you. But third place, second place, whatever you want to call it, runner-up was this one. Sabine and Shin are girlfriends. And also number 1, that the future of Star Wars is bright. And the winner with 53% of the vote is Star Wars Theory. Congratulations, Star Wars Theory. You are this week's Seal of the Week. I have a feeling that you're going to get many more nominations for Seal of the Week as this Ahsoka series is going. But he says, Ahsoka Episode 3 is the most George Lucas Star Wars we've ever seen. We've had since Disney bought Star Wars. If you don't understand why, watch my breakdown. But essentially, the explanation of the Force and how it resides in everyone is something George has said off screen for decades. It's funny that he said it off screen because he's never been on screen. Well, he has. There's a little cameo in his own movie, but he's never actually said anything.
Even if that was the case, let's just say everything he said up until that point is true. That doesn't make it the most George Lucas Star Wars because
That's right.
Someone said a line once about something.
Yeah. Also, Ahsoka in space was in the Clone Wars twice and Rebels and once in Rebels. Also, Shin Badi. Congratulations, Star Wars Theory. You are this week's Seal of the Week.
I'm the Jedi.
And that is that. That is Casual Rage for another week. We've still got 53 people here. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for sticking it out with us until the end of this. Hopefully, like I said, moving forward with this Ahsoka series, Anna's going to be able to make it, hopefully for each one, and we can do our breakdowns together. And then, of course, there might be one or two that she might not be able to make, but it should be awesome moving forward for this series. Also, too, just want to say thank you to all the members. Thank you for everyone for being here, of course, but thank you to all the members for your extra contribution, I guess, to the channel and to myself. I want to thank Fractured Filter, Lethal Lightning, Desert Fox, Blue-Eyed Scorpio, Abunas, Patrick T, Mr. Bantham, Mike Hill. Hang on, let me see if there's anyone else. Alden Scold. I think that's how I know I got corrected by Anna earlier. Patrick, for all the super chats, you guys are awesome. Thank you for your support and thank you for being here.
And Arboru for the gift subs too.
Oh, and of course, Arboru. Sorry, again, it doesn't show up. Arboru, you are a fucking legend. You're constantly sending me Streamlabs super chats and you're a member. And yeah, I appreciate you as well. But that is it, guys. I hope you guys have a great week. Have you got anything coming up, Grant, that you want to plug?
Yeah, I think I might be going on a little plane trip to MozzaCon. So yeah, this time next week, I'll be face to face with everyone but Rhino because he's going to be doing this show and then catching a plane. So that should be good. We're going to have a couple of people come down. Have you been practicing any of your pool, right?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
Okay.
We've got a $50 bet on a pool match, so we're gonna. I'll probably lose, but I know that I'm pretty good at pool, but I haven't played in a long time, so we'll see. But
yeah, apart from that, just catch me on all the usual streams. I'll be around.
Yep.
Except
awesome.
on Yellow Flash, I never get invited.
Yeah. As for me, obviously this weekend we've got the Full Aussie. We've got the Back of the Ute stream this weekend. And then of course Flashcast, you catch me over there. We'll probably talk a little bit more about Ahsoka if Flash lets me actually talk about some Star Wars. I obviously it's a little bit hard for me to get videos out to you guys. I'm going to do my very best to try and continue getting more and more videos out. But of course you will get my Ahsoka episode 4 review in the middle of the week, and of course next week for Casual Rage. So thanks again, everyone, for being here, and we will see you when we're looking at you.
They came bounding over.
Fuck off, Disney! You fucking cunt!
A few minutes? Are you kidding? At the rate they're gaining?
No, what is it? You have to shoot this. Traveling through hyperspace is like dusting crops, kid. Without precise calculations, we fly too close to a store. They're bounce into a supermarket and then...
Yeah.
Be a hell of a mess.
What's that?
Watch. You're losing your deflector shields. Go strap yourselves in. Be careful on the way out.
Yeah, sure. I'm taking very cautious.
You go away.
We bounced too near a supermarket?